They whisper secrets in the night, guiding hearts to pure delight. God's love shines like the morning sun, washing over everyone. In the skies where stars collide, heaven's gates are open wide. Fly with me to places high, where dreams touch the endless sky. Feel the grace that hugs the earth, every soul finds its true worth. In the quiet moments still, feel the presence ever real. Heaven's symphony unfolds, mysteries of life retold. Golden wings and halos proud.
Collins, good evening. Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's having a good night. I'm sorry, this is not going to be a fun one. I do apologize. This is a very, very sad story and a sad situation. Well, first of all, greetings to Miss. Hello, Babs. Hello, the goat got cancelled, and CCD. Some of my favorite people on the internets. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's having a. Generally, I hope everybody's thankful of the people in their lives. That's literally, I think, the best thing I can say at this stage. I got to put this thing in some sort of context, I guess. I frequent a channel called Chaotic Truth on YouTube, and Chaotic Truth has to say the least, an eclectic group of people that attend his. Let me see if I can actually get some of that going. I hope everybody's keeping well. All everybody's in good health. Let me see. Yep, there we go. There's CCD, Babs, and the goat. Oh, and Badmosh, which is nice pork pie hat. Thank you, sir. So yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked. I'm getting sidetracked here with the chat. I do apologize, chat, if I ignore you for a little bit. I just want to put some things in context. We've, as I said, I frequent a channel which has a lot of just very interesting people, to say the least, but generally lovely people for the most part that actually go to it. Oh, I do apologize. I had to do a quick little thing there. Having a little bit of weirdness. Why is this not focused? Sorry, just bear with me. Okay. Yeah, let's keep it to this. Yeah, as I said, I frequent a channel called Chaotic Truth, which is a YouTuber, and he does some incredibly just interesting and highly addictive panels. I've been going to his channel for about best part of a year or two now. Great guy, great conversations, great bunch of people. Amongst those people, there's a lady called, we call her Miss Ginny. And unfortunately, Miss Ginny is a Christian. She's, I think, I'm not sure, maybe Baptist. I think maybe Baptist. Very, very religious person. Totally devoted to Christ. Totally devoted to her religion. She lives and dies by her religion. Absolutely goes to bed and rises every day with Christ in her heart and her mind, and prays regularly. Unfortunately, last week, I believe it was either Friday or Saturday. I think it was Friday because I saw the show on Saturday, so it must have happened on Friday. Miss Ginny had a terrible thing that happened to her. A terrible event. It's really hard even talking about it. But Miss Ginny, this is Miss Ginny. This is her husband and her newly born son. I think he's not even like 4 months old. I think it's 3-4 months old maximum. Maybe a little bit longer. But new mother. There you go. She's just given birth on that picture. And unfortunately, her husband had a automobile accident, as it's written here. Ask others to share final expenses and moving expenses. Help Miss Ginny stay home to raise MJ. MJ is actually, I think he's MJ the third. He's got his father's namesake, Mario. How does a stay-at-home mom carry on after a tragic death of her husband? Only with the prayers and financial support of family, friends, and fellow believers. On there you go, 18th of April, which would have been exactly last Friday. On the 18th of April, her husband and father was suddenly taken from his family in an automobile accident. Now Miss Ginny needs funds to pay the bills and prepare for the funeral and burial expenses of her husband, beloved Mario Jr. So many people know and love Miss Ginny and her adorable 4-month-old son. There you go, 4 months. MJ the third. I think it's Mario Jr. the third. They have asked how they can help, or how you can help. I think prayer for Miss Ginny, hug your loved ones, raise £11,000 to usher her into a new reality. Again, Miss Ginny, devout Christian, absolutely devout. She loved Christ. She lived by the commandments of Yahweh, the God of the God of Christianity, and Jesus. If you believe in the Trinity, Jesus is and God is the same. And to me, this brings me. I don't want to. First and foremost, I want to labor the point. Please, if you can help, go to this site. It's in the pinned comments. Also in the link below this live stream. She has already raised more than the amount she aimed for. She's actually already at $14,000. So it's not. It's every penny counts still, because this is for the rest of her life and her son's life. She's a single mother now. So if you can help, by all means, feel free. I don't have Cash App in the UK. UK doesn't allow us to use Cash App. She does have a Cash App, but we can't. It's pointless for me to advertise that in a UK setting. I know a lot of my viewers are from the UK, although we have international viewers as well. If you have, I don't know where the Cash App is. So the best thing to do is just go and donate here. They take, I think, 3% or 8%, but they actually don't take from the amount you want to donate. So if you want to donate $10, they'll add their cost. So it'll be $10 and, I don't know, 20 or it'll be $11 or $12, whatever it is. So that way $10 actually goes to Miss Ginny, goes to the cause. So they will account for that, and you'll see it when you donate. But either way, every penny counts, obviously, because she's a new mother. But the thing is, I was very, very angry. I was very angry when I heard about this, because Miss Ginny genuinely is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. She is genuinely a follower of Jesus. She holds the Sabbath. She holds the commandments. She really is, one of those that lives by the Bible every day. She is not one of these wishy-washy Christians, Sunday Christians or Christmas Christians. No, she is a Christian 24/7 every day without failure. And that's what brings me to this statement. I don't want to make this show about taking a dump on Yahweh, but it just makes me think. And I already said this on Chaotic Truths Live when I was on there. I think it was Monday or something. And to me, this encompasses this situation. Is God willing to prevent evil, but not able? Then he is not omnipotent. If he is able but not willing, then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? Is he neither able nor willing? Then why call him God? Now this is from Epicurus, thousands of years before Jesus was ever a thought in a person's mind, or Muhammad, or even I think maybe contemporary of Moses, but I think even before that. So this is an ancient riddle that has been posed to all God believers since the dawn of God believers. But for me, that's the question I posed on Chaotic Truths, and I'm just going to simply pose that again tonight. Why? Why does Jenny deserve this? Why does she deserve to have her husband taken away from her? What is the cosmic good that we need to know? What lessons? Because there was a whole bunch of Christians on that Chaotic show professing, "Oh, this is a test. She will be stronger after this." Why? Why should she be stronger after this? Wouldn't she be stronger with her husband and her son growing up knowing his father? Wouldn't that be a better situation? What do we have to learn? Is this for us? Is this for us heathens, us atheists? I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any of these things. But she does. She obeyed your commandments. She followed your rules, O Yahweh. Why does she deserve this? Why does that son, why does MJ, what lessons is MJ going to learn from life because he grew up without a father that he couldn't have learned if he grew up with a father? What is this? I'm an ignorant worm. I'm an ignorant worm on a floating wall of water and rock in the mass expanse of the cosmos. I am nothing. I'm a maggot. I'm less than a maggot. I'm a bacteria in the universal scheme of things, and none of us matter in the great expanse. The universe doesn't weep for us, but God does, apparently. Yahweh cares about everything. He cares about whether we keep the Sabbath. He cares about whether we worship his at his feet on Christmas or not. So he seems to care about a lot of these things. What does Yahweh need from taking away Miss Jenny's husband? What does he? What is it? What is it? I don't know. I hope the Christians can explain this to me. I mean, this is really a question for you guys. Well, but the thing is, Kondo, why should they have? Why should they have grown up without a father? What was your father? Was their father taken away from them, or was their father just simply left? I mean, there's a difference, right, between a father that just leaves and a father that is taken away. This man was a good man. He was a Christian man, I'm sure, because Jenny wouldn't marry anyone that wasn't Christian. By the way, he's 24. And so is Ginny. These two are 24 years old. They're not ancient. They didn't wait to have a lavish career in their 30s and 40s before they started to have a family. No. They did it all right. They did everything right. They did everything that was asked of them. They worshipped God. They got married. They made a family. They did it all right. Hardworking. I mean, it looks like he's in some sort of construction because his trousers are in this photo kind of got paint on him and stuff. So he's a blue collar guy. He's not some office jockey. He's not a pen pusher. He works to the sweat of his brow, and they have a humble life, and they did everything right. These were 24 year. This is a 24-year-old kid. I mean, I say kid because I'm an old man, but he's a 24-year-old young man at the beginning of his life, What lesson does the rest of us take? What universal good did it do for this to happen? So that's my anger. That's my gripe. I mean, I'll be honest. I've calmed down a lot. It's been a few days. I was screaming in my car the last time I thought about this. This is incredibly sad, and this is incredibly unjust and incredibly unfair. Salute, Bob. How are you, sir? I hope you're well. This wasn't right. There was nothing about this that is okay, and I don't know why. I don't know. I'm a idiot. I'm a fool. I'm a heathen. I don't understand. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do here. I'm sorry. It says chat disconnect. Let me see. Am I still? I'm still seeing new chats. Anyway, Hafiz, Ginny isn't saying, but I feel bad for her losing. What do you mean? She isn't a saint. She's supposed to have angel wings? She's supposed to be floating above the rest of us? How much does a single individual have to do to keep Yahweh's commandments in order for her to not have to go through this shite? What does she have to do? What does any of us have to do in order for us to be good enough not to have Yahweh jam his foot in our ass? Is there a bar? I mean, apart from Jesus, and no one can reach that bar. Just asking for a child to be raised with his father in his life, just asking for Yahweh not to shove his holy toes up our rectum. Is that not enough? I don't know, man. I don't really want to. All I want to say is, please, if you can, go to the site. It's pinned. Donate if you can. Just send well wishes if you can. If you can't, prayers. I don't even. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in these things. But for those of you who do, I hope you can square this circle where you can actually believe, you can actually start to recognize or somehow justify the fact that Yahweh had to do this. This had to be done. This had to be done. Not every Christian. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up with the chat. I should be. This is why I refuse to learn to drive. Damn. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, Smoker Steve. Just curious, what is going on here? What happened? Smoker Steve. This is a person who I know from another online sort of streamer. We go. There's a gentleman called Chaotic Truth. I go on his streams quite regularly. Miss Ginny also attends those. Used to come on the panel quite a lot. We talk just like your panel, Steve. Just a collection of people, somewhat eclectic collection of people, and we essentially talk about different topics. Chaotic happens to raise a lot of controversial topics quite a lot, and Miss Ginny was one of the people that attended quite regularly, and she's a Christian. She's, I think, a Baptist. I apologize if I'm wrong, but she's a Christian. She's devout as any Christian can, I gather, can be. And I don't know her in a very personal sense, but from what I know her, everybody loves her. Everyone that knows her likes Ginny. I've never heard anyone have a bad word to say about Ginny. And her husband tragically died last Friday in a car accident. 24 years old. She's 24. They've just had a baby that's 4 months old. And my simple question is, for those who believe in God, why? Why does God have to do this? What is the greater cosmic lesson that either Ginny or the rest of us have to learn through this tragedy? Because I can't think of one. I'm an idiot. I'm a fool. I'm a drinker. I'm a womanizer. I've done it. I've broken almost every commandment I would imagine that God has for us, except probably homosexuality and child, PDF files. But pretty much all the other nasty things that God tells us not to do, all the things that Yahweh tells us not to do. I've lied, I've cheated. At times, you could even say I've stolen. But nevertheless, Ginny has to learn this lesson. Not me, not the thousands of other heathens, not the Epstein types, not the Jimmy Saviles. Jimmy Savile died a rich, wealthy knight of the British realm. And that monster PDF'd so many young people. And yet, Ginny has to learn this lesson, right? She's the one. She's the one that needs this one. She's the one that needs to raise a child single. Because, Jimmy Savile was just such a swell guy. Such a swell guy. Big up fun with Dirts. Hope you're well, mate. So that's my 2 cents, guys. I don't really have much more. I'm gonna drop a link. Let's see if we can get a panel going. Let's see what anyone else has to say about this whole thing. I don't know. I'm gonna put the link is in the description for the GoFundMe. I don't have the Cash App, because in Britain we can't use Cash App. Cash App is not allowed. So I'm just going to simply, you've got the GoFundMe. Just go for the GoFundMe. I think that would probably be the best way to get a direct contribution to for Ginny. Let me see if I can get this S show up and running for the old. Yeah. For the old StreamYard. I don't really have it set up properly, guys. I'm sorry. I wasn't really focused on this. I'm not even sure it's a good idea for me to even do this right now. But I say, if we get too many idiots talking shit, I'm just kicking you off. Okay, you come here and you disparage Ginny or try to sort of bring this to some nonsense. I'm not really in that mood. I am not in a forgiving mood this day. So, yeah, guys, if you want to come up, be human, be decent, don't be a jerk, and don't be an asshole, and don't be a clickbaiter or some kind of rage baiter or edgy. I'm not looking for the edgy ones today. I'm not looking for your edge lords. I'm just looking for regular, possibly empathetic human beings. I know it's hard to find that on the internet. I know most of you thrive at just being dicks, but try to take a day off. So yeah, guys, if you're an admin, please just every so often cut and paste that thing. Let's see what comes May. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna try to set up a. Oh God, I have to redo this crap every time. It's an absolute pain in the ass with StreamYard sometimes. You just think, why do I bother? It is what it is, my good sirs. It is what it is. So yeah, if any of you out there wanna jump, if you're feeling froggy, jump. But be good, be normal, be human. All right, and we have our first customer of the evening. Let's see who this is. Oh, Condor. Hello, sir.
Hi, Fez.
How's it going, my good sir?
Me and Ginny's never had a very good relationship for certain reasons, but the thing is, this is tragic what's happened. That kid is going to be without a father. What I was trying to say is there's a lot of kids in the same boat, and this happens to them, whether the father walks out or accidents happen or anything like that. It's sad. But Ginny needs to. It seems so she's in the church, and there'll be a congregation. I'm sure people in the church will be able to help as well. And if she does have a family members around her who are men, to be supportive and help out when it comes to the young boy growing up, you know what I mean? So he has men around him. Um, also they should find that in the congregation as well. What I'm shocked about is, has the church helped in any way with like regarding funding
Um,
or help?
I don't, as I say, I don't really have those insider sort of info at this moment in regards to that. Uh, I don't know. Is my
What
best.
technically happened to our partner, like a husband, in this accident? Was it a car
Yeah,
accident?
yeah, it was a car accident,
Because
and
this is why I will never go in a car. I've been in a car accident myself. My mum's nearly lost her life in that car. The car accident wasn't even her fault. I find it dangerous, and you'll probably think I'm OTT, but I don't like vehicles. I really don't,
yeah,
because you got
unfortunately
that
though,
many idiots on the road.
it's unavoidable. I mean, how can you get around? I mean, how does I mean, you must at least catch a taxi from time to time. That essentially you own a car,
Um,
no matter how you get about it. There are certain
if there was more
situations.
or less an ambulance in the situation I'm in,
My God.
but yeah,
Um.
it's I just feel bad for the child, and obviously she'll be going through it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
she really needs to look to her congregation for help as well,
well,
because
there is, as I say, there is a. I mean, the thing is, this is what I mean about the fact that she's not a massive like YouTuber or anything like that. She does have her own channel, where she preaches and does what's it called, not evangelical damn it, I forgot. She does her evangelism. There you go, there's the
yeah,
damn word, my brain's all over the place. She does her evangelism, she talks about Christ, etc., etc. So yeah, she does have her own, if you like, congregation, but for the most part she's not a big well-known celebrity or anything. She's just a
well,
person.
you don't need to be a celebrity, but like I say, with the churches and stuff,
Mm.
if people are in need of help, there will be some sort of funding there first.
Yeah.
Like, and I know in America they have a benefit system for single parents as well, like what they do in this country, in the UK
Mm.
first.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
There is some degree of help. I'm sure
yeah,
of that.
they'll be getting help that way. It's just, and I'm sure they'll be paying for funeral costs with the situation, because I know in this country, you get discounts and stuff like that with situations like this when you
Mm.
just don't have the money. So and I'm sure there'll be funding like that in America. There's got to be. They're not that heartless.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm certainly hoping that that is the case. I'm certainly hoping that she does have other support, and I'm sure she has family support. I'm sure she will have her husband's family support. I mean, the good thing about, I guess, religiosity in this sense is that there is a good support base all around, from your church, from your families, everyone, and because everybody's religious, they are, it's a big obligation for them to help and to make sure that that she's taken care of. So I'm not
Right.
totally worried about it, but
It's
still.
it's besides the religious part anyway. It's your actual friends,
Mm,
taking religion out of the equation. It's your actual family. It's people who you know, who come in when you least expect it, and they can be the biggest support you never knew you had.
yeah,
And this is the time when people have got to come around and make sure she's okay and help, because it takes a village to raise a kid.
exactly. That's the main thing. Is I'm really. I mean, it's already hard enough, with a two parent family. I'm sure it was, it's not an easy task even when she was with her husband. But now, with single parents, I mean, the statistics on single parents is terrible already. That single parent, single mother households, their children have some of the hardest times, and now with this on top of it, I mean, it's just. I don't know, man. I don't know. Are you a believer? Do you believe in God? Do you have
No,
a
I'm an
religious?
atheist. There's something that I don't believe in religion, but say I'm more on the science thing. I mean, I love the mythology and stories and stuff like that, what's been from centuries ago and things like
Mm,
that. You know what I mean? But personally, I'm not religious, but I always say to people, each to their own. What you believe in, like keep it to yourself, and that's between you and whoever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't discriminate anyone who is religious in a way. It's up to them and what they want to do. But I will, like I will say, I mean, me and Ginny in the past have had major run-ins arguing for each other. But the thing is, you wouldn't want to wish this upon anyone. It's horrible. It really is.
Yeah.
You when you lose someone, and there's a child as well involved. It's not just you; it's a child as well.
Exactly.
Horrible.
Exactly. That is my biggest sort of thing is the fact that I don't know, man. I mean, why does she like? What is the necessity for this to happen to her? Like because there's a whole bunch of people who came up on the day when Chaotic was doing his show, and they were like, oh, Matthew's this and Luke that and John this and oh,
Yeah.
she will have greater strength for this. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what could she possibly learn from this situation that is going to make her life and her kids' life better? What is the cosmic, lesson
The,
we were
the
supposed
thing.
to take away?
This is what I mean with people. They kind of put on to people and expect them to. It's so stupid. She's literally just lost the love of her life, the father of a child. She'll be going through the mill.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but to what? To what end? Like, how is this in any way good for anyone? Be it Ginny, be it society, be it what? I don't know. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss.
I'm not going to lie, Fess, because when you lose family members, you never forget. You don't. And it doesn't matter what people say, oh, over time it heals. It doesn't. You will always remember that person.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And when she looks into her son's eyes, she needs to know that he's still living on in her son.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's a comfort in the sense that she will always have him as a
Yes,
as a
she
sort of,
needs to see it that
yeah.
way, and just put all of her love into her son. But I do really think they need the family around and good friends, not just the religious part. They need that backbone support. And she really needs to start getting help from the government as well. She needs to get on her feet and get the help because you know what these times like. It's bad in America as well, money wise, and over here it's ridiculous what it's happening in this country money wise with people.
Mm.
So she needs to get on the ball and get someone to help her sort out benefits and stuff. So she's got the support as well for the child.
All right, we've got J.K.
I'm going.
Hey, oh, sorry, go on, Connor.
Well, I'm just going to drop down on that. That's all I wanted to say, and then you can let other people talk. But
Oh,
if Ginny's listening, I really do feel bad for you because I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It's horrible, and just day by day, take time.
yeah.
Right,
Thank you, Connor. Thank you for coming.
all right.
Um,
Now,
take care. Have a good one. James, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of reflecting of like my friend last year.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say because you've had a tragic loss, someone very close to you, only last year, and now here we are with another person. That's I mean, I presume you wouldn't even know who Ginny is because you probably don't even know the Chaotic Truth channel, but you can relate. You can at least empathize because you've had a tragic loss yourself.
Oh yeah.
Go for it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm just lost for words. Don't really have much to elaborate on it. It is a rocky ride. Just
How did you deal with your situation? What did you go through a
I mean,
process? What happened?
obviously it's a process, so it's like the cycles of like denial and then acceptance and anger and resentment and then forgiveness. So yeah, it's it's very surreal, and it's one of those things where I don't know if I'll ever really fully come to terms with it. It's always going to be like a you know, in the corner of my mind, him lurking about, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Did your friend didn't have any children or wasn't married or anything like that, was it?
Oh, no, no, no. He was like an only child and never got to know his father. And
Oh,
yeah,
I see. So he had.
and he had bipolar. So, you know, he had it rough, you know, to
Damn.
navigate with that. And yeah, you know, we just, it was just amazing, like the fact that we were both born 24 hours within each other. And we both had the same first name. And the exact same middle name, you know. And
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, you both did. Yeah, yeah.
that's just like scratching the surface, you know,
Damn.
of the very miraculous, you know, um, you know, coincidences that we had with each other.
Yeah, guys. Anyone in the chat who wants to still join us? Let me just pop this in. There's the link, guys. Admins, anyone who's a mod who can actually cut and paste this thing, just feel free to cut and paste this periodically. I don't know actually who is a mod. Oh Christ, CCD isn't even a mod. Why isn't CCD a mod? I thought. Sorry about this. Got to do some admin work. Okay, so yeah, anyone out there who wants to join, please feel free. Have a chat. Don't be a dick. Try to not to be a complete douchebag on this particular live stream, at least. But just be human. Just be normal. Be normal. Now the problem is, you see, I'm one of these people who laughs at a funeral. I'm messed up like that. I can't deal with sad occasions without having some sort of, without trying to elevate my own demented brain with comic relief. So I find it really hard to sort of broach these sort of subjects, because I'm constantly like trying to, essentially it's my own coping mechanism. It's just, you know, just laugh it off kind of thing, or get a cup of tea, and it's just so it's just hard. It's just hard because I just can't get my head around why does this poor girl deserve this? Why does I mean, you know, I'm not saying anyone deserves this, but what I'm saying is this one person who was your faithful follower, Yahweh, who did the things you were asking them to do, and you go stick them like this. I mean, like, what kind of psycho does that? The pain is too much. Yes. Where is Lieutenant? I share the coping mechanism. Yeah, exactly. Lieutenant is actually similar. Lieutenant, if you actually want to jump up and have a chat, I'm more than happy. Big up Reanimator. What's happened? Okay, got to cycle back to the guys, the new guys. Reanimator. There's a young lady called Ginny. Well, her real name is actually. Let me go back. Sorry, guys. Let me try to get the thing going. This is a young lady that I frequent another channel. Her name is where? Damn it! Where did I see her full name? We call her Miss Ginny, but her actual name is Christ. I don't see the name on the site anymore. How does she say that? There you go, Virginia Jones. But she's a devout Christian. I keep mentioning a denomination, but I don't really know. I think Baptist. I think so. Or one of those. What do you call it? Black churches, I guess, in America. I don't know. Baptist church. She's a devout Christian. She loves Jesus. I can guarantee you that. She's like the Hatun level of loving Jesus. But she doesn't, parse her words when it comes to Catholics and other denominations. So she believes if you don't believe in the King James, you're going straight to hell. But 24-year-old lady, 24-year-old dad, had a child 4 months ago, married, did everything right, devout Christians, loved Jesus, prayed all the time. Husband dies in an automobile. Now, they said automobile accident, which makes me think maybe it's not a car accident. Maybe it's a van or some other vehicle. But either way, in a tragic accident, she loses her husband at the age of 24 with a 4-month-old baby. That's it. That's in a nutshell. And this is simply me trying to extend, if you like, because there's been other people who are much bigger channels than me. This chap, Chaotic Truth, he held a video. He did a live stream, which was actually, let me see if I can find the one. There you go. He did a Jenny live stream as well, and raised quite a lot of money. I think, in fact, they surpassed the goal that they set anyway for this GoFundMe. It was only $11,000. They're already at 14. But if you can help, I'm just extending the message. I'm just passing it on, trying to get as many people aware. I know that Chaotic has a large United States audience, but maybe not so much UK, etc., etc. So, just passing it on, really. That's all it is. I've been meaning to do this since Saturday, which is Friday was when her husband passed away. Saturday is when I heard about it. But I wasn't able to do Saturday, Sunday. Monday was a mess. And anyway, long story short, here we are. So that's it. That's the long and short of it, guys and girls. I'll be perfectly honest. I think I might just end this because this is just very, very somber, and I don't want to introduce any other topics where we end up in other things. Please send her your well wishes at the minimum. If you can help with a few quid, just that would be awesome. She needs every help that she can get because she's raising a child. James, any thoughts?
No. It's just one of those days where we have to obviously, keep a strong head, but also reflect and have some empathy.
Are you yourself are not particularly religious, are you?
I don't know. I've got a very unorthodox way of seeing things. I'm trying to blend quantum physics with this and that. And
Are you saying that you're essentially you are not in the traditional religious, but you have some kind of metaphysical, supernatural beliefs or ideas about it? Are you like a deistic, pantheistic type of a believer?
Oh yeah, definitely along those lines. I'm trying to understand the concept of neutrinos, because neutrinos kind of like these mystical buggers that just seem to should not exist but do exist, and they just randomly appear, and they all seem to come out of stars and nuclear reactors. So yeah, and I think that might lead to possible different dimensions and all that stuff. So I think the idea is even if we can't have concrete empirical evidence of different dimensions or different alternative ways of how we would have had our different lives, there's nothing to suggest that that's completely false, so we just have to kind of once again just be stoic and live life to like it's a play or TV show or opera,
So, I mean, even if okay, let's grant this. Let's grant a dimension, a different dimension, different universe.
Yep.
How does that correlate with us dying and then ending up in that dimension, or in any way being connected to that other realm?
It's hard to say. It's in dimension, does it mean there's 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, then we get into 4, 5th and all that stuff, and it's that it's something very hard to fathom, our current way of viewing things, but
interesting.
It's just one of those things you just have to give it like a leap of faith in many ways, you know.
So it is. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right. It is kind of a leap of faith. Hello, Lieutenant. How are you, madam?
I'm all right. I'm not too shabby, thank you. How are you, Banksy?
Good. Well, could be better.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yes,
I'm sorry.
for.
I'm not entirely up to speed with what's going on here.
Oh, in a nutshell, I go on to other panels like I do on Big Noses. And by the way, Lieutenant, meet just James. James is also one of the frequent attendees at Speaker's Corner. He quite often wears a bowler hat, monocles. So you probably, if you've seen a video of anyone wearing a monocle and bowler hats at Speaker's Corner, it's probably James.
Yes, the most caricature. The most caricature of the British stereotype.
Yeah.
Oh, I do vaguely recall. Right, so you're a white guy with the monocle and the bowler hat.
Yes.
Slim
James.
built. Yes.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember
he rocks
that
a
one.
magnificent six-pack during the summertime. I'm sure you'll be able to admire that.
White boy, summer's coming.
Months.
White boy, summer's coming.
Precisely. So anyway, Miss Ginny is a frequent panelist, or was, for a guy called Chaotic Truth, an American chap that I started going because Jupiter actually introduced me to Chaotic Truth, of all people, by the way. Jupiter, I think, went on that panel a few times. She then mentioned it to me, and then I just became hooked. It's like a year or two. I think it was 2023. So I've just been frequenting that panel quite a lot now. And one of the people who does come there, Christian lady Ginny, lovely person. I swear, as far as I know, no one has a bad word to say about her. She's just genuinely a lovely person as a person, and she's quite faithful in her Christianity. And don't get me wrong, she debates rigorously and she holds her ground, but just generally all around everybody loves her. Anyway, her husband died in an automobile accident on Friday, and they only just had a baby 4 months ago. They got married at 24. They're both 24. So these are young, married Christian couple that this happened to. And my gripe with God, essentially, is why? Can you answer why?
Yeah, because, I mean, that's an entire future. It's not just that couple that became one. It's their offspring as well, isn't it? So that's just like, wow. That's traumatizing just to hear about it. It's just everything. That's a whole world when you think about it. That's been cut short there. So, yeah, it's understandable to be thinking, well, why would God do that?
Yeah, precisely. What's the cosmic lesson here? Cosmic wisdom that we needed to learn because Jenny's husband had to go in order for us to learn this.
Well, exactly. That's what I felt like. It's just like it felt like God was like deliberately, creating two people to be exactly alike but different in blood and to find each other.
There you go.
Take them away.
It's a very understanding train of thought. Like I share that one myself, and I'm a believer in God, and I'm a believer that everything, absolutely everything, no matter how grim it is, has meaning, which is very, very tough. It's an awful pill to swallow. However, I will bring in, you're a grown men, you'll have your own experiences, and I'm sure you've been through some pretty shit stuff. And no matter how infuriated you were and all the rest of the negative emotions, out of that, like the Phoenix, you came up and you came out with something. So there was a benefit to it, no matter how much at the time or even now you don't want to admit that. It's the truth, isn't it? You came out with something. So I can only apply that logic for me to keep my shit together about it as well.
No, it's definitely hardened me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Just like, my innocence is dead. Now, the real me is...
The real James is going to come out now. through the darkness and the brutality. No, I mean, look, I mean, maybe there'll be some cosmic lesson. I can't see it. I can't see why that lesson can't be taught any other way.
Well, I mean, I don't know if
that is like one of my favorite bits in the Old Testament, and is the book of Job. You know,
Oh, I was just going to bring Job up. Yes.
I beat you to it. But yeah, you know, so it's one of those dilemmas.
I don't know. Wasn't Job had all that done to him? Is Job is the one that had all the boils and all that, right?
Yeah. So Satan makes a bet. With God,
yeah. So this was all for a bet with God.
Yeah, and so first of all, he takes away Job's like livestock and animals, and then he does it again, but takes away his family, and and then he gives him the boils and the disease, and then
for a bet.
Yeah,
for a night at the casinos with Yahweh.
I think it's a bit more than that. It's not for the slices of tree with horse faces stamped on it kind of money thing, is it? It was the spiritual, and it continues to be the spiritual war, doesn't it?
So what did Job learn at the end of that?
I don't think he really just had to, accept God will do as he pleases, and it's nothing you little maggots can do about it,
Apart from that, but no, Lieutenant, please, what did Job learn at the end of all of that? And he kept the faith no matter what, all that jazz, all that good stuff. What was the lesson?
Throughout that, you will notice that Job struggled with his faith, right? So he had that wrestle with God, but he never spoke against him. He couldn't let him. And I can relate to the story of Job, to be honest with you. And it's like the saying goes, iron sharpens iron, right? So, it's like it's molding. It's like the silversmith molding and perfecting that piece of silver. It's got to be stressed. It's like a tomato plant. It's not really going to give you much unless you stress it, and then that's going to put it into emergency mode for the growth hormones to come in. We are the same. For the growth hormones to come in, for it to become stronger again and more resilient against anything that could make it perish, so that you then get a bigger yield, okay? You can apply that to anything. You can apply that to Job. Job came out of that with his strength.
Well, with his faith strengthened.
His faith made more certain, more secure. Like, he's always now got that hard evidence of no matter what, he pulled me out of that and saw me somewhere in a good place. And that's with him, not like materialistically, in a good, strong place with my maker. Whereas before that, there was always a chance that he could falter from that. He didn't have that certainty. He didn't have that hard evidence in him.
I'm sorry. No, carry on. Let me.
And he's grown with that. And ultimately, right, you can look at all of that he went through, and you can see that it's materialistic, okay, all of this downfall. But when you look at everything else that's going on, his spiritual walk was strengthened. If he'd continued on a good trajectory materialistically, he would be spiritually weak. So he wouldn't be balanced. You've got to consider your spiritual walk as well as your materialistic walk. So he came out with that. And of course, it gives the big fat middle finger to the devil. It's a win-win. And all those other people involved would have learned something spiritually as well, no matter where they ended up after being in the world around that time, right?
Well, there's a couple
of... It's never just about Job or the devil or that. It's about all of them.
Yeah, but you
And
see,
the big
there's
picture outside of that as well, like God's agenda.
yeah, but there's like a hole. There's a lot of holes in this argument.
And
Okay,
I'll continue before you come in with your holes, right?
okay. Go ahead. Go
Um,
ahead.
this is just how I see it.
Mm.
So there'll be someone else under some other Christian dogma or doctrine or whatever. They might have something else, but this is just how I see it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not fully scholared on the Bible or anything like that. I just have my relationship with God, and I know what He shows me when I ask Him things. So I also see it. Oh shit! I forgot what I was going to say now. I've just gone a blank. I can't believe this about Job, and it's like one of the few books that I've read and I love the most and I can relate to the most. And I forgot what I was going to say. This is terrible.
Okay, let me. Sorry.
Go on with your
Did I?
holes. Go on then, Banksy.
Sorry. Bear with me one second. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Slightly.
just turning down some of
Just
the.
about.
Oh, is it really low? Better now?
No, it's better. It's better now.
Okay. It's just I'm trying to turn down some of the gain to try to get rid of some of the crackling I can hear. Okay. The holes. Okay, number one. If this was the only way, well, if God, you said at one point God feared that Job may go astray. Technically, that's not even possible, given God's attributes of omniscience. God would know if Job was definitely going to go astray or not, and the bet with the devil is ridiculous. You can't bet something with someone who knows the future. If I know that I'm going to win at this poker game, why would you play me? It's insane to even play a game with someone who actually has omniscience. The results are already known. The person you're betting with knows what is going to happen. So the idea of a bet with an omniscient God, I don't even know how to even begin to recognize how ridiculous that would be. So that's one. Number two, you're telling me that there was no other way, literally no other way, to teach Job this lesson without destroying his entire life, giving him boils, and just decimating him in order to make. I mean, there are lots of other ways that people learn lessons without, absolutely destroying them. I'm not entirely sure whether the creator of the universe is that uncreative to think that this is the only way that human beings. And if that's the only way human beings learn lessons, then why do we even put children in schools? Shouldn't we be just taking them and beating them into knowledge, or some sort of beat them over the head until they learn something? Like nowadays, we've actually learned that hitting children, we're becoming less and less. Although I'm not entirely on board with not hitting children at all. I think sometimes a good smack teaches a far better lesson than talking them down. But nevertheless, we've developed, especially in Western civilization, Western societies, even more of a tradition of lowering the number of times we use capital punishment or corporal punishment to teach kids lessons.
What if we use like a little electric poker, like nothing more like a
cattle prod? But what I mean is, this is what I mean. These things we've deemed these things to be cruel. These things to be ineffective.
Oh, come on, no, it's just a static shock,
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you actually look at the trajectory of how we teach children, lessons, it's gone from quite cruel, beating them and parents hitting them, the switch or the paddle at school, to nothing at all. A teacher can't even put his finger on a child anymore. They get instantly fired. So the trajectory for us has gone from beating to less and less beatings, because we learned more, we learned better, we grew, and we understood the world better, and we understood human psychology better. But the God of the universe, the creator of all things, the omniscient, omnipotent being, doesn't know a better way to teach humanity lessons than to destroy them, give them boils, give them just the most cruelest things that you can possibly bestow upon this individual. It says, sorry, let me just, it says the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. Excellent track. I love that one. Also, Gaffy. I'm sorry, I'm maybe misreading that. God was showing Job that everyone left Job until only God was left, and he still believed in God despite his extreme diseased illness. Yeah, but what I mean is that if this was a teaching moment for Job, if God did this to teach Job a lesson, God couldn't figure out a better way. It's amazing that we, 21st century man, can figure out a better way than the creator of the universe. So to me, that's where the juxtapose really lies, is that how is it 21st century human beings can teach children without putting them through this kind of cruel gauntlet, but God had to do that to Job.
Right.
So, sorry, go ahead. I'll put a lot on the table there.
Yeah, and there's holes in that as well. Now, I say that because we've improved our ways of how we raise and teach our children because of what's in the Bible, right? When you look at the Western world, its ways of doing things are built on our systems which are rooted in the Bible, right? Christianity. So whether you're Christian or not, you're in a Christian country right now, being in England, and you're in a Christian country because the laws, the ways of doing things, the culture, it all is rooted in the Bible, whether you practice Christianity or not. And that's our cultures, that's our ways, and that's how we're less barbaric than non-Christian countries, okay? So that is how we've advanced. Now, when it comes to the story of Job, I don't think it was all about teaching Job a lesson. God was confident that Job would come through that, but he strengthened what was weak in Job. He used it for that, as well as it wasn't kind of like a bet, or just use this one over here, this piece of meat over here.
But that's literally how it's described, as a bet between God and the devil. How would, and actually, if you could address that part as well, why would the devil take the bet from an omniscient creature that knows the future?
Do you not think the devil was a bit thick, considering he was so arrogant and conceited? When you look at conceited people, they miss out a lot. They underestimate everyone.
So how is
too much arrogancy going on? You look at a narcissist; they underestimate everyone because they're refusing to admit to themselves their own insecurities, right?
So the devil's just a little bit slow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's totally thick. He's very advanced compared to how dumbed down we are, right? However, compared to God, who he was up against, yeah, he's a bit thick, like. He never repents.
The thing is,
thick.
You're saying to me that God, that the devil, mind you, we have to also characterize the devil's attributes. Devil is an immortal creature, although not as powerful as God and not as omniscient as God.
Everyone's immortal.
Well, okay, let's bench that one as a possibility. But what I mean is, the devil, as it exists in its current in its form, is eternal. It has lived for millions and millions of years. Okay, even if you believe the Bible's timeline of 6,000-7,000 years, it's still lived more than any single human being. And well, I mean, actually, no. Technically, I don't even think you can even say 6,000-7,000 years, because that's when the Earth was created. Who knows how long the angels and Lucifer existed before God decided to create the heavens and the earth. So that could even be millennia or, eternal. Either way, he has lived longer than any human being. He has experienced longer than any human being. And yet a mere worm-like mortal like me figured out I wouldn't make a bet with God in like a measly human mortal existence in a measly 30, 40 years than God did, than the devil. I figured out that I shouldn't take this bet before the devil did.
But that's what it tells you of in the Bible, right? I'm not bashing you with the Bible here, but it does like tell you of that. There are those like the devil who it seems as though they'll never repent, right? But we don't get to know actually what happens at the end properly. It doesn't tell you this in the Bible because, I mean, this is where I have my faith in God. He wants to save everyone. There's no exclusion in that word, right? And what he wills, what he wants, is what he achieves. And we, being made in his image, we are aiming creatures. Whatever we aim for, whether it's good or bad, we achieve it. That's how we end up in the shit, right? We often aim for the wrong thing. Okay? Whether that happens somewhere along the lines where we're aiming for something good, we have a moment of fear, we make the worst decision and we end up aiming for the worst thing and things turn out shit and it all happens so fast, we get confused, traumatized, whatever. Why has this happened to me? And it's like, well, we weren't being that mindful in the first place. But the main thing, what I'm saying there is we are aiming creatures just like God. What he aims for, he achieves. What we aim for, we achieve. So his aim is to save all. So eventually, I have hope and faith that he will save all, even the devil, even all the unclean muppets, spirits, angels, whatever they're called. I mean, we're talking contemporary versions and translations of the scriptures, which were written in a totally different language under a totally different culture. It has a totally different meaning to what we interpret it as today, but still his intention wholeheartedly is to save all, meaning everyone, every one of us, whether that's mankind, cats, dogs, devils, demons, whatever. So I do believe that he will save them anyway, eventually. So, of course, it's not about, well, the devil's just going to perish in the lake of eternal fire, meaning there is such a thing as annihilism. No, I don't believe that. I do believe there's always a reason why he bothers his arse to try and teach the devil lessons. Otherwise, it's a sick little game, isn't it? If he knows that he's just going to get rid of the devil in the end anyway.
Yeah, it is a sick little game. That's the problem. That's my
Yeah,
entire
like
thing with the whole thing with God. God seems to come across as a sick
like
little
one
puppy.
big snuff film, like one big snuff film. If you're thinking of it from the perspective of annihilism, and that's where, and it's not because of anything in the books because I haven't read it all entirely. You know that I've said that many times.
Sure.
I'm talking about my faith in God, and that could just be a blind nutty thing that all I've got to cling on to, right, as a bit of hope. But I just cannot not believe that there's any piece of his creation that he doesn't want to save.
Someone says Roman 6 King, big up Roman, says Banksy reminds me of apostate prophet. Now he is and he is now a Christian. I don't think so. It's going to work in the same way with me. I think apostate prophet
Am I going to convert you?
Sorry?
Am I going to convert you, Banksy?
Maybe not in this lifetime, but give it a shot in the next one. But it's just the difference is that apostate prophet has had David Wood whisper in his ears for a long time, and I think maybe he's found some kind of internal fulfillment or internal just gratification. The fact is that apostate prophet himself hasn't turned the very arguments that he used against Islam towards Christianity. He's become very, very soft on Christianity. Almost gave up. You almost hardly ever hear him critique Christianity anymore. He kind of moved away from an atheist perspective of critiquing religion and its fundamentals, which is God. For me, I'm not even here to worry about Christianity or Islam. When it comes to the God belief, the God question is pure and simple: is such a deity even plausible to exist in the universe? There are actually paradoxical attributes that God actually has, one of them being omnipotent. The classic question of the paradox of omnipotence is, can God create a stone that he cannot lift?
Well, this is why I really focused with the neutrinos. Because the neutrinos are basically the closest thing you're ever going to get to something that's omnipresent,
But the thing is,
they're everywhere at once.
I'm not actually even against that. That's why your James, your hypothesis is actually much more attractive to me, because I can absolutely accept that there are elements in the universe that may not necessarily exist in this universe, because we know from from quantum physics that there are quarks that come in and out of this universe. We don't know where they go, but they appear and they disappear. And so there are things that come into this universe and leave this universe for sure. But where they go is, we don't have that kind of level of technology yet. But that's not the point. The point is God of the Bible. This is why I don't debate a deistic perspective of a God or a pantheistic perspective of a God, because these are nebulous entities. They're not fleshed out in any way. Jesus or the Christian God, Yahweh, Islam, Allah, these are fleshed out individuals that you can ascertain their existence or not, because they have distinct attributes. They've done things, they've said things, they've behaved in certain ways. They in fact have emotions like human beings. So, and intelligence, of course, which is the main thing that the religious propose all the time, is that there is an intelligence behind this universe, that some intelligence created this. Now that intelligence there is a possibility of ascertaining whether that can exist or not, or that is real or not, or that it actually does things or not. I can't prove to you that neutrinos do anything or don't do anything, or appear or disappear in this universe, or that were the building blocks of the universe itself. I can't, but it's plausible. But they're not thinking. Neutrinos are not acting on will. They are simply are. I don't presume fire to have a will, to think, although it behaves like as if it almost thinks. Especially those who fight fires in forests and stuff. People think that fire literally has a mind. But the fact is, fire is just a chemical reaction. It doesn't exist. It doesn't live. It's not a living creature. It doesn't have thought. Sorry, go ahead, James.
I was like, you thought of like looking into the God particle, something like that,
Oh, the Higgs boson. Yeah, again, all of these things are perfectly reasonable, but they don't think. They don't have foresight behind what they're doing. It's not, at least as far as we have evidence for. It doesn't think about what it's doing. It just is. And I think that's the problem with humans. We can't get our mind wrapped around simply things that are. They don't have will. They don't like you. They don't dislike you. They just are. The universe is indifferent to us. Maybe that's what it is, really. Maybe it's the fact that when we think about things like the universe being indifferent to us, it makes us feel insignificant. It makes us feel that we don't really matter, which on the basis of evidence and everything around the universe, we don't. I mean, this entire planet could disappear tomorrow. Hell, not even the planet. This entire solar system could disappear tomorrow. The universe wouldn't give a damn. It will just keep on marching on. There are entire solar systems that are disappearing, that are blowing up, becoming supernovas or red giants all over the shop in the universe. There are for all we know, entire civilizations and species and planets with lives that have just disappeared for, millions of years ago, or happening right now. because their sun has reached its end, and eventually this planet will meet that end too. No one's going to care. The universe isn't going to cry over us.
Actually, our sun is what we would call a third generation star. So it's already had like 3 cycles before.
As in it's become what, like a red giant, and then collapsed in again, or I mean, it didn't supernova because it would have been gone by now.
Yeah, but like the how suns are born as like a mix of like space dust and the forces of gravity, where they basically atoms collide into each other.
Oh, you're saying our sun is a third generation of other suns that have supernovaed and then developed? Yeah, sure. But what I'm saying is that if this star that we revolve around goes, I mean, it won't go supernova because I don't think it has that kind of mass. It will blow up into a red giant, which will engulf all the planets around in our solar system. So everything will die. Everything will die. There's no way you're going to survive that if you're in this solar system. Short of us leaving this solar system, we will all die. That's it.
No,
We'll
hang on a minute. I want to come in here because you say that like we're insignificant in the sense that we could all be wiped out and it would mean nothing to the universe. How do you know?
Because of all the evidence we have about all the other planets, all the other suns that have gone, that have already supernovaed or become red giants, and the solar systems around them have gone.
That doesn't mean that any of that was insignificant, and that doesn't mean that we are insignificant.
But what was their significance to us or to anything?
I don't know.
Exactly. Who cried over the planets
that
around?
That doesn't mean that you know that we would be insignificant.
Well, I mean, to give you a look, what most people, sort of, you could say, rational, logical people operate around is reasonable expectations. This is where it comes down to. A lot of people use the same sort of example of, for example, do I have faith that if I sit on a chair that it won't collapse under me? I sit on that chair with faith, or I sit in my car and turn the switch on faith that my car engine will start. It's not really faith. That's a false sort of representation of faith. I don't sit in
expectation.
It's a reasonable expectation that if I sit in my car and turn the key, because of the things that I've done to my car, services and all the other things, and made sure my car is a relatively young car, etc., that engine will start. But if it doesn't start, it's not a massive shock to me that, oh my God, I had faith in you and you have shattered my faith in this car. I can never trust you again, car. No, it's the fact that I know that I have reasonable expectation that my car would start, but one day it might not. And then I have to take it to the mechanics and find out why. So it's just a reasonable expectation. And the reasonable expectation in the universe, given all the evidence, is that the universe doesn't care. No one will even know. I mean, if a planet has just, I mean, as we speak right now, for all we know, a star has gone supernova or has become a red giant and engulfed all the planets around this solar system. And there were happy, joyful children running around on this little planet that we call, I don't know, Zibbob. And on Zibbob, everything was wonderful. And in fact, they developed a utopia. They had magnificent machines that would give them food and energy and everything. The Zibbopians are now gone. They're dead. They're all burnt to a crisp. Their planet became a desolate desert rock planet like Mars. Do you care? Do you even know? You don't care. Nobody cares.
I think the destiny for any sophisticated life is to create a Dyson sphere around their star.
Well, they didn't get that far. They hadn't reached level 2 civilization. They're only at level 1.
Some people hypothesize by observing certain stars, they seem to look like they got a Dyson sphere around it. We're starting to sort of see odd flickering of certain stars. But I mean, obviously we don't have evidence. But Lieutenant, what I'm trying to say is that there could be very well right now many, many planets that had life on it that have just gone, that have vanished,
I'll give you an example from this planet.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's loads of coulds and couldn'ts and possibilities, isn't there? But the question is, how do you know?
Well, I mean, we can.
Does anyone really know anything?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, we definitely do know things because it exists. I mean,
Like evolution, like
well,
Darwinism.
no, not even that. I'm not even going that far. I'm saying things like, if I drive a pencil through your hand, I know that you're going to hurt. It will hurt. I know that. I don't just believe
What?
that your hand you're gonna hurt. I know that
What
if
if
I
that part of me has no sensation, that it's paralyzed, or
well
whatever that's called? Like, there's
90
no
okay.
feeling there.
Okay, then we come into ratios. Then we go into percentages. Now you
So
see.
if
Now
what we're
you're
talking about is a reasonable expectation. Yeah, I'm pushing
yeah.
the buttons. A bit.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
just
But
because
the
it's
thing is, apart from the odd, magnificent exceptions of someone who has some sort of neurological problem where they don't have any sensation, 99.9% of people are going to hurt. So
Yeah.
okay, if you really want to put it down, everything in the universe, everything we quote unquote know, is on a scale of percentages. What is the likely chance that this thing is going to happen if I do this thing? So if I drive a pencil through your hand, what is the likely percentage that you're going to feel a tremendous amount of pain? I would wager it's in the
extremely
99%.
high. Yeah, extremely
So-
high. So that would most certainly be a reasonable expectation.
Yeah.
There's a difference between that and knowing, though. You don't know until I'm going, what?
Yeah, but
Did
the
you
thing
just do
is,
to me?
I mean, I suppose once you've done that thing, then from that point
Then you
onwards,
know.
then you know that this is true.
Yeah.
You can put it in the knowledge category, but we don't really operate in the world in that way. We operate on the percentages. 99% of the time, we operate on the basis of previous experiences. I've done this before. It has always worked for me. It should be okay now. It's the same as, when you cross a road. I mean, you don't know that you're not going to get hit by a bus, but given all the evidence that you've crossed roads before and your eyes are functioning and you know the procedure of looking and making sure it's safe, you can cross a road 99% of the time with certainty that you'll survive. Of course,
You'd be all right.
there is that
So
1 or 2% or 98%, shall we say, that 1 or 2% where a bus might come out.
Just to straighten that up, though, that's the difference. Like, well, there's only one. Maybe I shouldn't use those words. It's a case of you choosing to put your trust in your faith in the percentages, the possibilities, the probabilities, the reasonable expectations, and then after the event, you will know, right? Either way. And then there's people who do that, but they put their trust and their faith in something that they can't see, but that their mindset and their logic and their reasoning, their experience in this world has led them to believe in God as a deity, and that's what is behind this, that, and the other.
Well, I challenge that.
Ultimately, that's two different mindsets. They're doing the same thing, but they're putting their trust and faith in different things. And which one's right? Which one's wrong? We don't know yet, do we? We don't know until after.
You see, this is the thing.
That's the great unknown, that us either choosing to put our trust in and faith in God or in those possibilities, probabilities, reasonable expectations, logic and whatnot. That's why we seek to put our trust and faith in something to at least ease us a little bit from the great unknown that we are in. And therefore, we don't really know anything. We're in the great unknown.
I don't really. Okay, number one, for example, you said that people have faith in let's say, a God because they have a reasonable expectation given previous evidences. Now, people who believe in God based on evidence versus people who believe in God
subjective to them.
Yeah, well, yeah, even subjective evidence there is vastly less people in the world that believe in God because of evidence of any sort that they've convinced themselves of than there are those who have been indoctrinated into that particular religion. I mean,
Yeah.
you ever wondered why you happen to be a believer of the Christian God, not the Hindu God, or the
I've had this
Mayan God?
conversation with you before.
I know, but the fact is that you were raised in a Christian environment, so your God belief is largely of indoctrination and upbringing than it is of education and conclusion, because you didn't start
because
off.
I learned about all these different things at school.
Yeah, but you didn't start off with a blank slate. You already started off with your research with a if you like, presumption or an indoctrination into Christianity. So you started not from zero,
No,
that I don't believe in
didn't have
anything.
I didn't have anything Christianity
You
around me. I've already
just
explained this before. I know you find it hard to believe, but I honestly did not.
no. But you see, now you're contradicting yourself, because earlier on you said to me that everything in this country, our education in regards to how we don't hit kids and all that is built on a Christian valued system. The
Our
system.
values and ways of doing
So
things.
you were
But
indoctrinated into Christianity.
I wasn't brought up being indoctrinated with Christianity.
But everything is.
I was just being told what's right and what's wrong, what to do, what not to do, and being taught to read and stuff like that, right? I was a fucking toddler.
No.
And I had an encounter with God.
But
that's where my relationship and my belief with and in God comes from.
But
no
you just
flipping book, nothing.
But the thing is,
I couldn't
it's
read.
not nothing.
I was 18 months of age, Banksy. I was sat in my nappy on the picnic blanket in the back garden.
So at the age of 3,
about 18 months.
You were 18 months old, and you had an encounter with God, and that's when you started to believe.
Yeah, in my mind, I was talking with God.
How do you know that was God? Actually, that first of all, let's ascertain this. How do you know it was God and not the devil?
I was talking to him through my mind.
But how do you know it wasn't the devil?
My mother was in the house.
But how do you know it wasn't the devil?
My father was out at work. There was no one else around.
No. How do you know it wasn't the devil instead of God? How do you know it was God and not the devil, or any other mind manipulating entity in the universe?
Straight away the difference between God and the devil.
How do you know that?
You just know.
But how do you know that?
I think he's actually created us to have that in us, to know.
That's not really an answer that I can. Okay, how do I ascertain that you know that was God and not the devil?
I don't know. How do you ascertain that?
But
I can only speak of my experience. I'm not trying to convince you of anything.
But that's the thing. Would you know the difference between God and the devil if the devil is the greatest deceiver?
It's a very good question that actually scared me for many, many years, that I wondered myself. But through time, I have learnt which one I can trust and rely on, and which one leads me, it's down to their fruit, which one leads me down the wrong path.
But are you sure that you're not being led by the devil right now, and all this time the devil's the one that's had a hold on you? You have to leave the possibility.
Yes,
you just said to me, we don't know until we know, until something's done. So everything, we don't know anything. So you honestly don't actually know that.
I am
At least
sure.
If I go by your logic.
I'm in the hands of the right one. Yeah, I am sure.
And how have you made?
I can question and question and question, and he always keeps on showing me the evidence that I'm in the right hands.
But it could be that the devil
I am in the right hands. Could be this, could be that. What's the point in speculating?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. It's like
I'm okay with what I'm okay with. I'm okay with my faith.
So you're okay if the devil has manipulated you into believing in him.
I'm not being manipulated.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't actually. There's no way to evidence that.
They can manipulate me. But then at some point down the road, they learn, oh, actually, I didn't have any hold over her at all, did I?
Yeah, but you see, that's
People
my
like to
that's my
think
entire
they're good at manipulating.
yeah. But then that's my entire thing is that I don't think the devil is that. I mean, I know the story of Job kind of makes out the devil being some sort of a moron, but I actually think a creature that has lived millennia has picked up a few tricks.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
for you to be so confident that it was only God that was talking to you and only God that was holding your hand and leading you.
At that time, oh no, the devil has had a go, and has he had his minions have a go at me along the way, and God has led me through those situations, and none of it was easy ever.
But then how do you
And
know
I'm not going
that
into gory details. You've heard similar kinds of testimonies from some women, you know, going through crap for years. None of that's easy to navigate the way through, but it's only God that got me through that.
but Hindus go through Hindu you think you
And
use
what that was about was me being too arrogant to fully admit to myself, let alone him, that, yeah, I can't do this on my own. And so eventually I did become born again because I did fully repent from my own state of rebellion to him. And that's where even more certainty of him comes in.
and you're
And I
sure
know it's not easy to maintain that. Well, I don't know if the word maintain is right or not, but it's not easy navigating your way through this world and trying to stay yoked to his will, which is what prayer is, not supplication, prayer. It's to yoke yourself to his will. When you go back through the ancient Aramaic. That's what I was going to say before I've just said all of that I was going to say. What you were saying about the Bible, you know, I think taking it at face value isn't a safe bet. I don't know if you've heard of George M. Lamsa. He did the direct translation into English from the Aramaic Peshitta, and he was, I think he's dead now, was an Assyrian Aramaic who grew up with the old cultures, and he's wrote, and so has some of his scholars wrote and made presentations about the Bible, the contents of it being idioms. A lot of it is idioms and can't be taken as at face values, and it's got a lot to do with their culture. So you've got to look at it through that perspective as opposed to the contemporary world. So when someone's talking about fire, are they really talking about fire?
well, yeah, I mean, sure, there's a lot of interpretation, but I'm not even talking about the interpretation of the Christian Bible in any way. I'm not actually engaging with that at the moment. My thing,
Right.
again, isn't whether the text is correct or whether the text is well interpreted. I'm saying, like, you said you went through trials and tribulations, you had some bad experiences, and God sort of led you to the right path.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been that bad had I just kept on following and listening to him.
Sure. But are you
But I
saying to
thought I
me that
needed my own
Hindu women?
arrogance.
I just want to take a contrast comparison. A Hindu woman that believes in Krishna and Vishnu, does she get assistance from Krishna and Vishnu when God is or Krishna has put trials and tribulations in her path, and she's had to suffer, and I'm sure your experience of suffering was bad, but I think Hindu women or women in India have quite desperate times. Would it be, I mean, to follow your logic, is it Krishna that's guiding them now through those things?
I don't know what their mindset is.
Well, they don't believe
Like,
in They don't believe in Christianity. They don't believe in
Vishnu?
Jesus.
Who's Vishnu?
Vishnu is the top deity in the Hindu religion. He is
Right. So
Krishna. I think
what's a
Krishna or Vishnu.
deity? What's a
That's
deity?
what's his one?
What's a deity?
God. He is the top god.
It's a god or the top god.
No, he is the number one god. The thing is, although
Because when you
Just
look
let
at
me-
the definition of God, it just means a superhuman, like someone who-
supernatural entity. But the thing is,
no, not supernatural, superhuman.
well, yes,
Someone
supernatural,
who can do
superhuman,
something
yeah,
that
beyond.
the vast majority, if
Yeah,
not all, other
it's,
members of mankind
it's
can't do.
actually a metaphysical entity.
But if we're talking about the Almighty Creator,
Yeah, everything. Creator. He is the creator. He's the destroyer. But he manifests himself in many
destroyer.
forms. Yeah, because God.
There's a difference between the Creator and the Destroyer.
So God doesn't destroy. God only creates.
Yeah.
So what was the
Well,
flood?
that's my understanding. I don't know.
When
tell
God
me.
brought down the flood, when God didn't God destroy
No,
Sodom and
talk to the
Gomorrah?
author of the books.
What-
I don't live by the book. Talk to the author of the books.
What did God do to Sodom and Gomorrah?
Is there something about fire and brimstone or something like that? Talk to the author of the books.
No, I'm just saying, what did God do to Sodom? I mean, you believe in the Jesus stories and the Bible, right?
No. I
You-
said I believe in God
Yeah,
and
but
I have a relationship with God.
how does your God? Because you manifested God and you said the devil. Where are apart from Christianity, Islam, and Judaism? In fact, not even Judaism, just Christianity and Islam. Where else do you find the devil?
What do you mean, where else?
Which other
I haven't
religions?
found them.
No,
I
no.
haven't found them in a book. Fancy.
Okay. Let me try and get my my thoughts in line because we're bouncing around. Number one, Hinduism isn't actually a polytheistic religion. It's actually a monotheistic religion. It's just
Right.
that people think it's polytheistic because of all the different manifestations of Vishnu and Krishna. So Vishnu is a singular god which manifests in different forms. So you got Ganesh, you got Hanuman, you got lots of different Kali, which is the god of death and destruction. But it's all part of Vishnu, which is the singular top god. But these other gods are simply manifestations of that one. Hello to the wolf pack, and hello to D. Well, wait a minute. Let me see. Did that appear?
Hello to everyone in the chat. I'm missing it all.
Hey guys. Yeah,
with
I
you.
know. I'm trying to give chat some acknowledgement, some props. So okay. Actually, Matthew, he's posted Matthew D Gozi. Do you know
Oh,
this
God.
D Gozi? I think you know this guy from.
Yeah, she's that Bible button troublemaker.
But anyway, let me get this down. Okay, so you believe in the first of all, Hinduism isn't polytheistic. It's kind of a monotheistic religion. Second of all, you believe in the devil and God, because we established that you absolutely believe in the devil. The devil has tried to sway you away from God's path, and God has
Oh yeah,
pulled
I know
you
what
astray.
I
Where did you get those concepts of the devil and God from?
through my spiritual eye?
But how
Through
did
things
you
and
know?
asking
How did you
why
know?
this is happening, why that is happening, and God showing me.
But why did you say why is it God and the devil? Why are these two things?
Because they are words that have come up to help me express what I'm experiencing.
So the
Right?
words
That's
that have
what-
come up
that's
is
what
through a
people know
Christian
them
lens,
by.
right?
That's what people know them by. No, I'm not looking through a Christian lens. I'm
No.
looking through my experience and drawing on words that I hear said around me to be able to express what's going on
But that's
in
through
me.
a Christian
That's what
lens.
you do from being a child. You pick up sounds that you hear, and you learn what that's to express, and then you learn how to express yourself, don't you? So that's where the words come from. But my experience is not from learning the words, finding out what that word means, and then saying, oh, let's see if that happens, and then making something up. No, I'm talking about what I've experienced, and then I've tried to find the words to express what I've experienced.
Yeah, but You see, this is the thing. The
No
words are
I wasn't
from a
brought up with any
Christian lens.
Bible. I didn't go to any school with any Bible. None of that malarkey.
No, but the
I wasn't in school when I was 18 months of age.
but the thing is, the words that you're using are from Christianity.
Yes, I'm an adult now. For crying out loud, it's a lot.
But
of
those
years since
words,
all of
but
that.
you still use the words devil and God. You don't say.
Yeah, I use
you don't say
those
Carly.
words for the sake of having you understand me where I'm coming from.
But-
It's English words. Of course, I use those words.
Yeah, but those words, there are other words you could use for devil or for the negative, if you will. Why
In
don't you use?
English?
Yeah, even in English, you could associate it with the darkness and light. You don't have to say
Well,
God
yes,
and
I
the
have
devil.
done so. I have done so. But I'm talking to you now
But
about
you-
devil and God or whatever you want to call them.
But that's what I mean. Your
I mean, that's
experience
not
of
their
God
actual
is
names,
a
it? But
distinctly
it's words
Christian.
to describe the same entities, I think, that we're talking about.
The thing is, your experience of God is through Christianity. It is an expression of
No,
God
it
through
isn't
Christianity.
through Christianity. Christianity is a religion.
Yeah,
When I was 18 months of age, I was sat in me fucking nappy on the grass talking to God. I wasn't in a filthy religion. My mother was growing the veg. My father was out working 24/7.
yeah, but that's
They were
again.
on £7
that
a
has
week
no.
trying to feed and clothe us and keep the place clean.
The thing is, you're trying
There
to.
was no religion
No,
allowed in our
Lieutenant,
house.
Lieutenant,
ever.
that's not how it works.
That is how it works.
No, it's not. You grow up. If you
Yes,
grew up,
it
if
is.
I promise you,
There was
if you
no
grew
religion
up,
in my
Lieutenant,
life.
Lieutenant,
We were kept sheltered from that.
Lieutenant, I can promise you that if you grew up in India, in Delhi, if you grew up in Tehran or Islamabad, you would not be a Christian. You would not be associating the devil and God in a Christian sense. You would be talking about Allah and
If I
Shaitan.
was living in those countries, of course, because they're tyrannical shitholes where
No,
they're
it's not
abusing their
nothing
entire
about tyrannical. Okay,
their children.
okay. I'll even take it to a
They're
more
abusing
liberal.
their children. These are all
Okay,
tyrannical
I'll
cults
take
that
it to
you're
a more
talking
liberal
about.
one. I'll take it
Of
to.
course that would happen.
Okay,
if I
take it
was
to
in those
take it to a
countries.
liberal country.
I was not brought up with any Christianity.
If you were brought up in Japan, you would still be using the Christian symbology. If you were brought up in South Korea, you would be using the Christian symbology. But if you were brought up in
That's not true.
a Buddhist
That is not
in
true.
Thailand,
I
you
had
would not be.
a relationship, and I continue to have a relationship with God, Banksy. It's got nothing all to do with anything from outside.
it is.
It all occurred within me.
The thing is, you are not.
Not as a
You
result-
didn't grow
we
up.
didn't have a
No.
fucking telly, nothing.
No, of course you grew up. Look, the fact is that in a Christian setting, it doesn't
I
matter
was
whether your
not
parents.
in a Christian
Of course,
setting.
you were in a Christian country.
No, I was not.
So you never had Christmas. Nobody gave
At
you presents
18
for
months
Christmas.
Of age. What the hell are you talking
Nobody
about? Christmas?
nobody gave
At
you
18
presents.
months of age.
Okay,
What
no,
has
no.
Christmas
So your
got
parents,
to do
your
with Christianity?
parents never put up
What
a Christmas
has
tree.
Christmas got to do with Christianity?
The fact is that I
It's
personally
a
don't.
devilish act. It's a devilish ceremony. The whole fucking festive
Yeah, but
period.
the fact is that it is symbology of
What has
Christianity.
that got to do with Christianity? And in my household, we couldn't afford shit. Never mind Christmas.
So you had you never saw a Christmas tree.
I had nothing to
You
do
never
with
saw.
Christianity at 18 months of age.
Well, no, at 18 months, I don't even believe that at 18 months of age you could actually cognitively assess whether you saw God or not.
I'm not lying to you, Banksy.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, that you're making a claim of something that is
maybe you should go and
unprovable.
sit with Oz and sing his yeah but songs.
No, the thing is, you have to give me
Yeah,
evidence.
but
I don't
I'm
actually.
not lying to you.
I know you're
I can
saying that,
only
but that is
speak
your.
of
But you
my
have to give me
experience.
better evidence that trust me,
I
bro.
don't have evidence. I
Precisely.
Don't have to give
So
you
that
something.
that
I can't
statement
pull
that you
anything out
made.
my arse for you, Banksy.
Yeah, but that's it.
I've already said to you, I have no evidence.
Yeah. So what? Okay, I will simply say this, as Christopher Hitchens says: that which can be stated without evidence can be ignored without evidence.
That's fine.
So
yeah,
I
you
can't.
Can ignore it. You don't
Well,
have
that's
to
what I'm saying.
accept it.
So everything that you're saying to me from that point onwards it hinges on this basis that you only believed in God because God talked to you at 18 months age, but yet you cannot
That's
give me
right.
any evidence that
Yes.
such an
I
event
don't have to
took
provide you
place.
any evidence. I
No,
cannot provide you
but then I
evidence. I've
can't
already
accept
said
everything else you
it's
say from that
entirely
point onwards.
subjective, and that you don't have to accept me
Yeah,
and what I'm saying.
that's the problem. That
That's
if
the beauty of
every
you
other argument.
making your own choices and
No,
me
no,
answering your questions, whether you like
no,
it or
but
not,
Lieutenant,
whether you like the answers or not, whether
but
you believe them or not. It's that
someone
simple.
says
You ask
I
a
don't
question,
understand
I
18
answered it,
months knowing
and that's
God.
all there is to it.
Yeah,
Okay, you
it
can still
seems.
ramble on
But
however long, right? You still
Lieutenant,
don't believe that. You find it hard to believe, right?
no,
Lovely.
but
It still happens.
Lieutenant, if there has been a murder, okay, and they find
Oh,
the
here we
body.
go.
I'm trying to give you another sort of somewhat of an equivalence. I don't think I'm going to succeed here, but
You
I'm going to.
cannot change my mind
No. I'm not
on
trying
my
to change your mind.
experience,
I'm not trying to change your
Banksy.
mind. I'm trying to get you to understand my perspective. I'm trying to get you to see
I
what
do
I can see.
understand your perspectives. There isn't anything you need to explain on that. You
Okay.
cannot believe what I'm saying to you,
But
right? And that's perfectly understandable.
But-
I'm not saying you have to.
what I'm
I'm
trying to
just
tell you
saying
is that
that's
if
my experience.
I
That
know,
is my right.
I know.
And that is where my faith comes from.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that all the other arguments you make after you stipulate or make that statement that I talked to God at 18 months of age, everything else you build on top of that crumbles and is null and void.
How does it crumble?
Because you can't substantiate the very first foundational part of your argument.
It doesn't crumble to me. It might crumble to you.
No,
That's nice.
but
it
that's
doesn't
the
crumble
thing.
to me.
But that's the thing. You're trying to
I'm
then
not
debate
making an argument.
from yes,
I answered your
but that's what you are
question
doing.
about my life.
Yeah, but
All
that's
I
what
did
that's what
was
you're
answered
doing.
my question about my life.
No,
I don't care
I wasn't
whether
asking
you
the question about your life. I was
accept
actually
it or
asking a
not.
question about God and what is the
Yeah, and I
how
answered
we
the
know.
question about God from my perspective.
Yeah, but
There you go. So what?
some
It doesn't
fat
crumble to me. It
Lover
crumbles
says,
to
"What
you.
kind of
That's
crumble?"
fine. It doesn't crumble to me.
Fat Lover is saying, "What kind
Mose
of
tries
crumble?"
to do that to people as well. He tries to destroy people.
Oh,
Vile.
DG.
Absolutely vile. Why do that to people when they're peaceful in their own faith and in their own belief system?
Well, it's not that I'm
Absolutely
trying
vile.
purposely to destroy
Really?
that. It's
Really?
well, it isn't. It's
Really?
mostly for
Really?
me.
You're telling me something crumbles to me when it stood strong for me for 40 odd fucking years,
No,
Banksy.
but
What is the
it's
point
not a
in you doing that,
logical
Banksy?
because it
What
doesn't
is
have.
the point? It's illogical to you because of what you have chosen to live.
Yeah, but
In your chosen what you're going to put your trust and faith in, the probabilities, possibilities, the reasonable expectations, right? That's your mindset. But it's perfectly fine for me in mindset, my mindset.
Yeah, but you
And
got
you
in.
can live you
we
in
got
your
into
mindset.
a
Do I bother you about your
no
logical
no
stuff? Do I? No,
but
I don't.
yes, because you
So
should.
why
If I
do
believe
you
in
go about
ridiculous
doing
things,
that to me?
look,
So
Lieutenant.
why are you doing that to me?
Okay, let's because this has got.
Can't there be a mutual respect?
No, but we're having a debate.
No,
There
but-
is no debate
No, but
without
that's just it.
questions
but
back and
why
forth.
can't there be a mutual respect?
We were
What's your
having okay.
understanding
In that case,
What's your understanding of mutual
okay,
respect,
Lieutenant.
Banksy?
What I do
What's
with
your
my friends.
understanding of mutual respect.
Okay,
What's your
Lieutenant.
understanding of
Lieutenant.
mutual respect?
Lieutenant, if that is the case, that we are not allowed to probe this element, this thing that you're
Well,
professing.
of course you can.
No,
probe,
but
and
that's
I've
the thing.
answered
But let
it.
me
Tell me
let
that
me just
it
finish.
crumbles when no, it doesn't crumble.
Let me just
to
finish.
Me. It can crumble in your view, but it doesn't crumble
It
to
does. It crumbles in
me. It
other
doesn't
people's
to me.
view as well.
It crumbles
But
to
okay.
you, I know.
But what I'm trying to
But
tell
don't
you.
say that to me with such conviction as if it crumbles to me when it doesn't.
Okay,
It just crumbles to you. That's all.
let me in that case give you what I do with my friends who are believers, and we disagree. If you're talking about the respect thing, then what I do with my friends is we stop talking about that subject. We simply change the subject. How's the weather? Did you watch a football game? Because we can no longer probe that question.
Hang on a minute.
Because
In your live chat, there's that troublemaker who's
who?
telling me I've got a foul mouth and that I'm angry. That's the same one who stands by people who threaten my life.
Sorry. So who's
Bossy.
Bossy.
That's the same little scruff who stood by demands when he was threatening my life.
Bossy.
And Almaty D. Gossi.
Oh, Gossi. Oh. I mean, I don't see her anymore though, because Gossi's just put up some V signs and then kind of left, or hasn't actually put anything else up. Have you seen anything else? All I see is like Curb. I see Curb with his apple crumble, custard crumble. I don't know what is that. Mouse crumbles. I'm not. I can't. Sorry. Let me just. Okay, I'm not sure what that final one is. Roman says. Actually, let me put up Romans. Oh no, not that one. It says.
Yeah, she goes into all kinds
but you
of
did as a child believe in ridiculous things.
Who threaten violence and to send out fatwas on Nose and myself.
What from
people who were sexually abusive and stuff like that. She loves people like that, but when I'm in a heated debate, apparently I'm foul-mouthed and all of this, and I'm worth a whole load of hate. Like, yes, I go in any stream to give the gospel, and you all ban me. So you're fucking twisted, bitch.
Well, I mean, this is. I think other people are now debating Roman, or at least back and forth with Roman. But yeah, it's true. I haven't believed in God since age of 8. It's because funnily enough, similar age sort of experiences. You, Lieutenant, where you had a profound experience at a young age that drove you to God. I had a moment of, I guess, enlightenment or awakening where I realized all of this God stuff, it must be bollocks. So I guess we both had we both had a profound experience as a young person, but in very different ways.
yeah, they sent us in different directions.
Gossi seems to be ministering to many streams. She's a minister.
Yeah, she's talking to me. You are angry. I minister to any stream. Yes, she doesn't minister. She doesn't even know the meaning of the word she uses.
DG, Hafez, I heard you are being nominated to be the new Pope of YouTube. So hail to you, Father. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Diwali. Is it Diwali? I think it's Diwali, right? DG. I'm sorry if I'm. But yeah, Diwali is actually from the.
Look, you see that? Isn't that going to teach me a lesson? Put loads of little angry emojis. Oh, I'm cute, Gossi. I mean, that was worth the button pressing, wasn't it?
You guys know that if you put an emoji in the chat, that it actually sort of bounces around the screen.
I have noticed that. Yeah,
it's a thing. I'm trying to generally give the chat a little bit more interactivity. There you go. Born again, God will take the trauma, and no anger against others. And you see, I've got like a featured text and stuff that pops up.
No anger. Honestly, anger is an emotion. We all experience all emotions. They're perfectly natural. And there she is going against what God gave her. Honestly.
12 maybe, but not at 8. Oh, it says, why at 8 would you contemplate something like if God is real or not? Well, Roman, I mean, I explained the situation for me. It wasn't that I was, dwelling on and contemplating God on a philosophical level. All I did was that I didn't believe this Adam and Eve story that my grandmother told me. It just seemed like nonsense. And so I moved on with my life. That wasn't the moment in which I philosophically stopped believing God in a rational way. I just recognized that this wasn't right. And I just didn't really pay attention to this.
So what was it that you were being raised in that you then decided, no, this isn't right?
Well, I mean, I was born in Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran. Well, guess what? Guess what the dominant religion there is.
Oh dear, you were being affected by Islam.
Well, I was being raised in an Islamic world, in an Islamic society. Of course, Islam is everywhere. I myself have particular particular, I don't know how to put it, titles that have been afforded to me that puts me at a special place in the Islamic world, in the Shia Islamic world. It's a very, very, my family actually from my father's side, you could say they come from a very high level sort of Muslim categories. There's categories within Muslims, especially Shias. So I would be considered the most Muslim of Muslims. But the fact is that it was nonsense to me, and I just stopped. And then what happened was I then didn't really think about it and pay that much attention to religion until in my late 20s, early 30s, where I started debating actual religion, religious people. And for me, it was then the God question, whether God, the universe, the creator of the universe is actually real or not. That was
Right.
where I was hung up on, because I still believed in God up until then. I still believed that there was a creator of the universe, just not, Allah or Jesus or any of these people. But I kind of put the final nail in that coffin around my 30s, early 30s, where I just simply accepted what I consider to be the reality. Shalom, Cheeky Chops. Good to see you, my good sir. By the way, anyone else who wants to jump on the panel, please feel welcome. I am going to
Yeah,
wrap
why
this
doesn't
up.
Gossy? She's so brave in there, isn't she? Shouting at people.
Well, that's the thing. It's that's why I keep posting the link for Gossi or anyone else, Diwali. If you guys want to come out and have a little chit chat, I will be wrapping this up because it's hitting midnight, and unfortunately I have to go to work in the morning. I would imagine, Lieutenant, yourself might be getting up early as well, so I don't know.
I have a live stream that I should be putting an end to. I'm trying to get the watch hours in, so I'm just looping me music all the time.
Oh,
But I
interesting.
keep, I'm in the background making music while I'm looping all of that, so I'm always adding to the playlist. But I missed you today because I just came and sat down. The signal was going haywire and all of that, but I've just been doing the dishes and stuff like that. You were typing to me, so I was away from the laptop. So sorry about that.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. I did see that actually. Yeah, I saw your live, and it was actually because you commented on my previous live and said, next time
Yes.
you're live, let me know. And then I clicked on your name, and it actually took me to your channel, which was awesome. And then I subscribed, so I could catch
Thank
up when you
you.
go
I did
live.
notice that the number went up one.
Yes,
Such
one
a small
whole
channel.
subscription.
Again, two today. One of my long-time haters, I think someone who's hated me the most, like even more than Gossy, could you believe, has become my number one avid fan tonight.
There you go.
It's unbelievable,
There
the
you go.
turnaround. Like, they've been calling me Hitler, they've been calling me a racist, and all the isms and whatever, ists and stuff like that. They came across my channel because one of the shorts that I put out today landed on their recommended page. They went there, they listened to that, and then they came to the channel because they saw that I was live, and they were like, I can't believe that you actually like this kind of music. And so they realized I'm a human being. I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a Hitler or all the rest of it. And so now they've gone away from their device, but said that they'll keep it all switched on so that they'll help me get the watch hours. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, massive 180. Yeah.
Interesting.
So nice.
Wow. Well, I mean, the Wale says, please, we want to be mad at God taking our friend's Ginny's husband. Yeah, I am mad at God. I'm very pissed at God. I think God is a bit of a douche for doing that. And the question that I've asked
if you've
over and
done
over
that.
again to all the God believers is why? Why does she deserve this? Why does she need to have this happen to her? Still waiting for an
The thing
answer.
is, I think a lot of people misrepresent God, like the creator, certainly the one that I've had experiences with, saying, we're all born in sin, we're all born sinners, so that's why bad things happen to children and all that. It's like, what? Opening your mouth and letting the wind rattle your tongue, or what? Like, that does not represent the God that I'm in a relationship with, that's for sure. So, I wouldn't rule out God just because people spout a load of nonsense about him, illogical stuff that blatantly spells a satanic, meaning adversarial type deity.
Well, there you go. No, I rule out God, and if God is real, I absolutely hate his rear end, just for the mere fact that an innocent woman like Ginny has to suffer because somehow, for whatever reason, God deemed it so. If God is real, you see, if God doesn't exist, then this is a perfectly explain. I can explain away that there are events that happen, bad events, good events. Bad things happen to good people quite often, quite a lot actually in the world, and that it is just simply the matter of the cause and effect in the universe that we live in. This is just the way the universe is. There is no thought behind it. No one did this on purpose. It just is a terrible thing that happens in the world. But I'm not here to question the random nature of events that happen in the universe. I'm here to question if there is a God, and Ginny being one of his devout, worshippers essentially, and keeper of his commandments. I mean, I'll be honest. I've only met very, very few people in the world who are true believers in any deity, Islam or Christianity. Most people are hypocrites. Most people are just pure hypocrites through and through. They don't actually follow the commandments of their gods.
I
But
agree.
Ginny was one of the few that genuinely did. I can truly believe. I mean, I don't know her heart. I don't know what was in her heart or what she did in private, but I can wager that she, given everything everyone else that knows her says, as we said before, we don't know, but I have a reasonable expectation that she is a good person and that followed the commandments of Jesus and married a good man, did it all right, did it all at the way that she was told to do.
Yeah.
But God saw it fit that she has to now suffer like this. This is her lot. That for some reason God did this to her. Because if God is responsible for everything, then God definitely did this to her. It's not like God didn't do it. God did it. This is God's thing. It's all on God's shoulders.
No, we all have to take personal responsibility for our own actions. If I do something bad, that doesn't mean God did it.
Oh,
It
no,
means
no.
that
But this is an act of, it was an act. Her husband died in a car accident.
Right.
Who else do we blame?
So someone did something somewhere. Why does it have to be that God did that?
Because God is responsible for everything that everybody does. God knows the future. God knows
Oh, right.
the
So then
past.
there isn't. So
God,
that means I'm unblemished.
Well,
and God is blemished.
no, but the
Is that
fact
right?
is that God essentially sets you on those paths to do.
So that
The
means
thing is,
that
there
God
is.
is blemished and I'm unblemished. That means I'm perfect.
Well, no,
It's not me that's doing it. It's God.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, technically,
By
it is
that
all
logic.
God's fault. It's because you believe in God. So God, if you believe in predestination,
Well,
if you believe in fate,
no. Just because I believe in God doesn't mean that I believe that nonsense.
but you don't believe in fate.
No, I don't. I believe in God.
But does God set a path for you?
No.
So it's a random set of things.
God leads me. He guides me through what I'm going through. What I'm going through, he didn't make it all fucking happen like. Everyone plays their part in this world. God didn't make a bunch of sadists sexually abuse me. They chose to do that themselves.
But doesn't God have
And God
a
guided me through that situation.
But God so you don't believe that God sets out a path or fate for anyone, that this is.
No.
But God knew that this was going to happen to you.
I honestly don't know. All I know is that he
So
guided
your God
me through
isn't
that.
omniscient.
Probably is. I'm answering one question at a time, okay?
Okay.
Now, you asked me whether he set that path. I don't think he did. No.
But
because he didn't make me. I chose to go the direction I was going in when he was calling me to go elsewhere, right? So I ended up in that difficult situation. And that difficult situation, I was surrounded by different people who chose to be doing what they were doing. God wasn't forcing them to do that. He would have been guiding them, because I have faith in him. I believe that he wants to save everyone. He would have been guiding them to do better things, but they chose not to do those things as well. We all chose to be in the wrong place. And bad shit happened. And God guided me through that. What happened to the rest of those people? I don't know. I can only pray that God has managed to guide them into being better people as well. But he's guided me out of that. I've followed his lead out of that safely. It would have been a heck of a lot worse if I hadn't eventually followed his path.
The thing is,
Did he make
why
any of
wouldn't
that
God
happen?
just
I
not
don't
have
think
that
so.
happen to you at all?
Because he's not a fucking tyrant. I've got my own choices to make in life. All he's going to do is guide me through
Well,
those.
exactly. Why wouldn't he
that I can
guide
make
you
better
not
decisions.
to have that happen to you at all?
He did try to guide me. There's
Ah.
a difference between guiding and forcing. I've already said I chose to be in the wrong place instead of follow him.
But God knew that you were going to do that anyway, because God is omniscient.
So
So God
he
let it
can't
happen.
take away my free will that he gave me.
Well, because
he's not a tyrant. He's not going to just change it. He's not going to take away my sovereignty.
But then why do you need God
He's
at
just
all?
going to
If you make
guide me
choices
through that. If
anyway,
you want to ask those questions, ask him.
no, but if you make
Right.
those choices anyway, why do you need even this mythical God? You just do your thing. You
He's
just
not
follow
a
your.
mythical God. I'm talking
Okay.
about the conversation
Okay,
that I
okay,
have with him.
okay. Why do you
What the
even
fuck?
need to address or appeal to this God that can't actually do anything about the bad things that happen to you? You're going to make those mistakes. So God just is irrelevant in your situation.
What do you mean?
Because you're still going to keep
Why
making
do I
those
want
mistakes, and
someone
God
to
won't even
do
stop
stuff
you.
for me when I can learn how to do it
No,
myself.
no. But the thing is, you're going to make
not
mistakes
fucking saying.
regardless of whether you believe in
Why
this
do I
God or you
want
don't.
someone to do it all for me
No,
when I can do
no.
it for myself?
Yeah, but that's the whole point.
And
If you
the
can
best
do it for
way to
yourself,
do it
why
is
do you
the way
even
that
need
he
this
shows
God?
you.
But that's the whole point. If you
I've
can
just
do it
answered
for
the
yourself,
question. You
why
need to
do you
listen.
even
You're
need
like,
this
"No,
God?
You are. You need to listen.
Okay. Why do you need the God if you can do it for yourself?
I've already answered that question.
Oh
You
dear
talked
God,
over
you
me.
just said listen,
Roll
and
it
I'm
back.
listening.
You
Now I'm
listen.
listening. Tell me.
Tough. You've missed it. Just like Noah's missed the boat.
The fact is that if you are in charge of everything that you do, and God has no bearing on what you do as you will, then you don't
I'm
need
gonna
God for
say God
anything,
has
because
no
you're going to
bearing
do as
on
you
me.
will
Wow, that's putting
regardless.
words in my mouth, isn't it?
No, the fact is that's literally what you said.
No, I didn't
Yes.
literally say
Yes.
God has no bearing on my life.
Yeah, no, you said that you make decisions, and it's on you how you turn left or turn right or make the right decision, wrong turn,
Yes,
and
personal
God doesn't have anything to do with it.
Heard of it?
So if God
Take
doesn't
up
have
your
anything to
cross.
do with it,
Take responsibility for
yeah,
your own
so
actions.
God has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so it's up to you what you do.
So God has nothing to do with
Yeah.
those things, right?
What do you mean?
Well, you just said it's up to you what you do. God has nothing to do with what you decide to do.
What do you mean he has nothing to do with
Well, you just said it's not
No, I
God's
didn't say he has
fault.
nothing to do with
Okay,
it.
then why didn't God
Well, it's
stop you
me
then?
who decides
Then why
which
God
way
didn't
to
stop you?
go. He guides me. See, you're talking over me.
The-
He
Yeah,
guides
because
me. You're doing it again. You're doing it again. So when he shows me something, and there's all these other options. It's like a fork in the road kind of thing, right? It's up to me to decide which way I go. Now, am I going to decide to go with him, or am I going to decide to go a different way, right? Every downfall is because I chose a different way.
So you don't listen to God.
I haven't listened to God.
So what's the
There's been
point
times
of
where I haven't.
point of worrying about
Sometimes
God then?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I
But
don't.
what's the point?
That's part of my
what's
life,
the point
my
then?
journey.
But that's what I mean. That's the whole point.
Well,
If you don't actually, if
what
God
point?
doesn't
What do you
really
mean,
make,
what's the whole point?
that's let me
already
finish.
answered
Let me
that.
finish, because you see
The
now you're
point
talking over me.
is for me to learn.
You see now you're
I
talking
have
over
to
me.
learn, don't I?
I waited for
Of
you.
course,
Now
you get
let
to
me.
taste your own medicine.
Okay. Now, if God,
Funny,
if you don't, no, it's fine. I love this. If you don't actually have to listen to God, or God doesn't have any real strong
don't have
influence
to,
on you,
that's right.
you see, I have to. If when I was a child, I had to listen to my dad, I had to listen to my mum,
By force.
and there were severe there were punishments if I disobeyed. So I
See,
had
that's
to
your
listen
angle, it's
because
Antichrist.
the pressure was strong. But you seems
There you
you
go.
don't have to listen to God. So why need God in the first place? You're gonna make your choices as you will.
No, well, I'll answer that. You need God to make better decisions, right?
But you don't
And
listen to him.
I'm still answering the question. You've got to listen to him, of course,
But
to
you
be able
don't.
to. I'm still answering the question to be able to make a better decision. Okay. Now, on the journey of becoming, making those better decisions, you learn every time I'm not following him, I'm making the worst decisions. So more and more and more, you start to follow in his way and you develop that relationship with him. It's a bit like learning the hard way. As opposed to him being an antichrist, tyrant, and forcing you and imposing his will upon you, he guides you. He teaches you. Well, he doesn't teach you, he lets you learn, and he safely guides you through any difficulty in that learning process. He's not a tyrant.
Okay, are you
So
done?
the point is developing that relationship and that bond with him. That is the point.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Can I address?
It's better than anything any
Okay.
parent or
Okay.
any member of mankind has
Okay.
displayed. towards
Okay. You
somebody.
you placed something on the table. Let me at least address that at that point.
Okay.
The fact is that again we're going round in circles here. If you don't have to listen to the guidance, if you don't have to obey the guidance, then it's actually pointless to actually even worry about this God. You just do as you will, and you will feel the experiences of negative and positive experiences of your choices as you go through life. Whether God was with you or not with you is irrelevant. Because you make those decisions. Hold on. I'm not finished. I actually literally was silent the entire time you talked.
You were okay.
The fact is that it is irrelevant whether God is with you or not with you, because you make those decisions. You experience the benefits or the negative effects of those, the positive or the negative effects of those decisions. And God can't really do anything about it anyway. So why even bother with pretending or even having this thing with you? It's pointless. God in your existence is actually pointless because you don't listen to God anyway. God may or may not give you signs to obey him.
But I'm developing my relationship.
But ultimately, all this time, God hasn't actually done anything for you. You made those decisions, you did things, and those negative results were foisted upon you, the negatives or the positives of your decisions. So you're saying everything is up to you, but yet at the same time, you're saying that God didn't stop those bad people doing those bad things to you.
He's not a slot machine. He's guided me. That is doing a lot. Guiding someone is by far more of a gift than handing them the keys to a fast car. There's a load of money. There's a house. What the fuck does that do for someone? If a man's hungry, right, and you give him a fish, he's going to eat for a day. If you teach him how to fish, he'll be able to fish his entire life. He'll always eat. God he guides me. He doesn't do it all for me because I don't need anyone wiping my arse, basically. I don't want to live in a nanny state. Where do you think that comes from?
Oh, yeah. I understand. Right? I understand that.
He guides you to do it.
Yeah,
I don't. Properly. And it's not just for you; it's for everyone.
Well, it's not really. I mean, because
it is.
He's never guided me to do anything. I've simply done as I will. I take full responsibility of the positives and the negatives of my life purely on me. It's not anyone else's. I'm not putting it on anyone
Yeah,
else, and
I
no
don't
one's
think that's
guided.
positive
The
negative
only people
from
guided
God.
me are real human beings, parents and elders and uncles and friends, but not any deity. So for me, I don't have any of that hang-ups. But what I'm saying is that from your perspective, you're doing essentially what I'm doing, except the guidance I get are from real people, and the guidance you're supposed to get is just voices in your head, which, I'll be honest, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, they'd probably put you in an asylum.
No, they wouldn't.
If you're hearing
No, they
things in your
wouldn't.
head,
No,
they
that's not
kind of
true.
would. They kind of would.
No, they kind of wouldn't, right? They do that to people who are in danger of harming others or themselves. You need to learn about mental
Well,
health. Act and
hearing
that as well.
things in
But
your
it's not
head
even funny.
is a
It's not
start.
even funny pulling that out,
No, but
right?
it kind of is.
It's not. It's not funny.
No, it's,
Fancy.
whether you think it's funny,
Because
but
that's a distortion of the fact around mental health, and that brings out the stigma about, which people need to not have a stigma for, who actually need those services. So don't distort that. That's
No.
a distortion of the truth. There's people with mental health problems who could listen to that
If-
and who need to be in a mental health unit, but they'll be too afraid to turn to after hearing that. So don't say
what
that,
do you mean
Banksy. It's
too
not
afraid? If you hear voices in your head,
Not true that just because you hear voices in your head that you're going to end up in the fucking nuthouse, and it's never been the
50
case.
50 to 60
Don't
years ago,
say
you
that.
probably would have.
No, that is
just-
not
you just
true.
don't
I've
do
gone
it
through the
now.
entire history of the mental health sector in this country, and that's not true.
Yeah, so people who heard things in their heads never was
What were the other
institutionalized.
circumstances? It wasn't just about that why people ended up in mental
okay,
health.
so they did other things that
Right, there's other
contributed.
things that were involved.
Okay,
That
it's a-
meant
it's a-
that
it's a
there
first-
was
it's a
there
first
was a
step.
danger that they would harm others or themselves.
Okay, you're laboring
distort that
a
about mental
throwaway
health
line.
units. There'll be people
you're
who'll be listening.
you're getting hung
who'll
up
be
on.
too afraid to go in a mental health unit
Nobody-
because of what you just
nobody-
said, and
no-
that's the
nobody
exact help
cares.
that they need.
No,
Don't do that, Banksy.
but if you hear voices in your head, seek help.
You need to take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Banksy. That's
If you hear voices
Right?
in your head,
Saying
seek
that,
help.
and people hear that who might actually need to be in a mental health
But
unit.
the thing is,
they'll never get the help
but-
because they'll
but-
be too afraid to come
yeah,
forward.
but the irony
because of
is,
what you just said.
did you
Don't say that.
have
It's
you?
not true.
No,
What
but
you just
Lieutenant,
said
Lieutenant,
about the
Lieutenant,
mental health sector
Lieutenant.
in this country.
I just said, if you hear voices in your
I
head,
talk to
seek help.
mental health
No, just hold on,
experts.
hold on.
They
Let
know
me.
about my experience
Okay,
with God.
okay. Let me say this.
That doesn't mean I need to be in a fucking nuthouse. That
Well,
doesn't mean I need another diagnosis.
A lot of people.
I'm talking about clinical psychologists
Okay,
and psychiatrists.
so you have
You are
actually had.
wrong,
So
Fancy,
you've
to
actually
say
had.
that.
Oh, hold on. So you've actually had some form of psychiatric treatment for the voices you hear in your head.
No, not for the voices I hear in my head, because I don't hear the voices in my head like how you're fucking describing it.
Well,
But I have talked about I'm still answering the question. I have talked about my experience to a couple of clinical psychologists and a psychiatrist.
mhm.
And we all know that it doesn't mean that I've got a fucking mental health problem.
Even though
There's a
you've told them you
difference between
hear
that
voices in
and
your
a
head.
mental health problem. Not that what comes out of the DSM, which is the mental health sector,
Mhm.
which only suits big pharma, not that much that comes out of that can be relied upon.
Okay, and anyway.
Just as someone.
Okay, so you've
that
never
has
actually had an
experience with
official
God does not mean
diagnosis.
that they should be in a mental health unit or that they've got a mental health
Yeah,
problem.
but the thing is, you've never actually had an official diagnosis that whether you're hearing voices in your head should be considered a mental health condition or not.
I need you to be more specific in your question. I couldn't understand that.
As in, you've never gone to a professional and discussed the fact that you hear voices in your head for them to diagnose whether you need medical treatment.
First of all, I do not hear voices in my head.
You literally
Second
said
of
you heard
all,
voices in your head.
I have not literally said I heard voices in my head.
So what happened? Who did you hear when you were 18
I'm not
months old?
talking about that with you. I'm still answering another fucking question, Banksy. Right? It's
You
not
said
fucking funny. what
someone
you're doing to
talked to
someone
you
who
when you
I
were
have
18
mental
months
health
old.
Problems. They're called depression, anxiety, and complex PTSD. Do you think that's fucking funny, Banksy?
That's nothing to do with what I
You think
described.
that's fucking funny,
It's
sitting
not-
there mocking me
It's
about
not what
that?
I'm talking about.
I asked you a question.
I
Do you
don't.
think that's funny?
It depends. Yeah, a lot of things are funny.
Or you think it's funny that someone's got mental health problems?
The comedians can
And you're
make jokes
fucking
about
about
a
with
lot
the
of
head.
things.
You think that's funny?
I listen to very, very, very hardcore
I couldn't
comedians.
give a fuck. Do you think that's funny? Answer the
Well,
question. Yes. or no.
depending on the joke,
What you just did.
it could be.
So that means you think that you just did what you just did is acceptable and is funny.
Depending on the context. Sure.
What's the context?
Well, as I said, depending on the context,
You
you're
think that
you're
this is
making
a
out as if
suitable
nothing,
environment
no
for
jokes
you
can
to
be
think
made
that
about
it's
people who have
okay
PTSD.
to go on about people with mental health problems and that they should be in nut houses or whatever if they
Well,
hear voices.
you're
You think it's
now
okay for you to say that
you're
I
now
hear
trying to
voices, which I
contrive
don't.
offense on something that wasn't delivered.
I
As I
don't.
said, the
I'm not
offense is
offended.
taken, not given.
I'm not offended. I'm
Well,
disgusted.
I'm
I'm not offended.
offense, disgust, it's all very similar rounds. So now
No, it isn't.
you're taking offense and disgust on something
I'm
that
not offended.
again it
How
wasn't.
could I be offended?
Well then you
I'm
you take
open
that
about the
as you
fact
will.
that I suffer
What I'm trying to get
depression,
to.
anxiety, and complex PTSD, and I don't hear voices.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
So
you who said that.
but you said you heard God talk to you when you were 18 months old. How did God talk to you? How did you perceive that? Was it
I'm not going into detail about that.
So
I've done that.
So I
With
have to then
you
assume
are not my fucking clinical psychologist.
I have to
You
now
are not a
assume you
psychiatrist or anything.
heard a
I've
voice.
talked about that in a safe environment with people, with professionals.
But
you
did-
don't see any
did-
problem.
but you said-
think you know more than them.
But you said God
Go
spoke
off
to you.
this on YouTube. You think you
But
know
you
more
said
than them?
God spoke to you.
You think you know more than them?
That's
Do
exactly
you think
what
you
I'm.
know more than the top clinical psychologists and psychiatrists?
Well, have they
in this
assessed you?
country?
Have they assessed you?
I asked you a question. Yes, I've been assessed. I've already fucking told
I
you.
just said,
You
have you
think
been
know
assessed
more
by a
than
medical
them?
professional?
think
And then you
know
went off
more
on
than
one.
them? Do you think you know more than them?
I don't know.
Are
I
you
don't know.
that arrogant?
But what I'm trying to tell
you
you is
that
I asked you, have you been medically assessed, professionally assessed by someone? You said you just
already
spoke to
answered
some
this question.
psychiatrist, but you've never been medically assessed for hearing voices in
Have
your
I not?
head. So I said,
I not?
okay, well, that's what I asked you.
I've already answered
I
the question.
posted
You
it.
weren't
I
listening
posted it in
to
a
me.
form of a question. It wasn't a statement. It was, have you been assessed by a professional about the voices that you hear in your head? And you said
I don't
no.
hear the voices in my head, whatever the fuck you're saying.
So you're saying
I
you don't hear
the
voices
in
your
my
head.
head.
So-
you think you're in
so
a
when
position
did God
to
talk
be
to you?
asking someone those questions, Banksy?
So when did God
Do you think
communicate
that-
to you?
This is acceptable.
Yeah, it is. These are legitimate questions actually that
Do you?
should be asked. When someone says to me, "I heard God talk to me and said for me to believe in Him and follow blah blah blah," the legitimate question is, "Do you hear voices in your head?" It's not an unreasonable question.
God is one voice, isn't He?
Okay, do you hear a voice in your head that
It's
is not of
like
your
a
own?
voice per se. But
So-
I'm not going into explaining all of that to you.
But
Again,
Again,
I'm saying to you,
it's a
I am
reasonable
not
question.
explaining all of that to you. How many fucking times, Banksy? But I've been
again,
through
it's a perfectly
discussing
reasonable
and
question.
investigating all of that and much more about me with professionals. They don't seem to have a problem with me, Banksy, but you do.
No, I don't have a problem. I'm just simply posting a question. That is this because
Posting a question. How many fucking questions? Very probing.
but it's
and very inappropriately so about
it's a-
someone's mental health. As
it's-
if you're in a position to, which you are not.
Well, I mean, if someone tells me something, then I have to respond in the most reasonable, logical way to that assertion. You asserted you heard God, and the reasonable question is, do you hear God in your head? And you said yes, it was internal. So I can't falsify this because it's not something that I can actually falsify. Since I can't falsify it, I have to then probe, how did you hear God? And have you had medical examinations to see if this isn't some
Wasn't
other
there
issue?
another question that I was supposed to be answering, though? And then you went down that road and you took me away from the question that I was supposed to be answering yet again.
Well, we've covered a lot of things.
is
We
why I
bounced
get
around a
this
lot.
frustrated.
We bounced around, and Diwali
Pretty crude, don't you
suggests.
think?
Hold
It's
on,
not about bouncing around. It's about letting people answer the question.
Okay, hold on. Let
When
me
you
read
ask-
this.
ask
Read this
them.
chat. Let me read this chat. It says Diwali says,
do.
first of all, God doesn't talk to females. Do you believe that God doesn't talk to females?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
No, I don't believe that.
Well, I mean, you would say that, obviously, because God spoke to you. So, clearly, Diwali, you're wrong. God apparently does speak to women. If we're to believe Lieutenant's testimony here.
And who's Diwali?
Diwali
Is
is
Diwali
a gentleman.
Diwali the new god?
No, Diwali is a gentleman who lives
Why
in
would I listen
Germany.
to Diwali?
Bad as salute. Okay. No, Diwali is a gentleman who lives in Germany. And Diwali is actually up very late, Diwali. Aren't you going to work tomorrow? Because he's an hour ahead of us, so he's actually at 1 a.m. God will... Okay, this is our Gossi, D. Gossi. God will come to all of us if we draw...
Yeah, she's threatening you
If
now.
we
You've
draw
got to come
nigh
to God
to him.
or else.
Must draw nigh
She's
to...
so peaceful. She's
What-
threatening you with God.
Oh, is that what it is? She's
No,
threatening
she's
me.
super peaceful. She's all love.
How is that a
love,
threat?
loving.
That's not a threat. God will
Oh,
come
yeah,
to us
it's
all.
like, God will come to us all, and if you don't, ooh.
If we draw... Well, it says if we draw night to him. But I don't even... I know it sounds like a limerick, to be honest. It's like...
Yes, you've got to draw nigh to him, otherwise he won't come to you. That's what it's a threat.
James
And then
4:8.
it'll come in, like these are the end times. Turn to him all before you go to hell, the fear bullshit.
Oh, my dear. Okay, here's one. James 4:8. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. You will hear
You will
him.
hear.
So it's just like
So
believe
she's
in God in
quoting
a true
English-
if you're a true believer or
An
something.
English version translation of the word of God, which is supposed to be the word of God, right? So she's quoting something that's at least 7 translations away from the original.
Oh, okay.
Quoting the Book of Chinese Whispers for you.
And what is this? We are getting this threat thing from all don't threat. What? Where are you getting this threat thing from? From all don't threat. Peace, love of Jesus. Hafiz, I never threatened anyone. There you go.
Does I've got it in emails, man, the twisted bitch. Wait, a screenshot then, you fucker.
Oh my god. Was it Diwali? Yeah, Diwali's working nights, guys, so that's why he's actually at work. He's earning and learning. We believe God spoke to Mary through Angel Gabriel, but God spoke to Prophet Moses directly. That was when that Moses had the burning bush, right? Yeah, when he was smoking the burning bush. He was burning the midnight bushman. God helps us all. God help us all. Yeah, that's the thing for sure. God help us all.
Well, apparently he doesn't, because he supposedly killed someone, didn't he, in an accident? If it was God that did it,
Well, I mean,
that means no one's responsible for their actions.
Matthew 1:20. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife. Yeah, that's a dodgy one there. It's convenient that Joseph happened to have a dream that said Mary's going to be on the duff without you. Rather convenient, that one. Jesus said, I was before Abraham. I am that I am. Yes. This is actually a lot of people who try to sort of make out that the Trinity is nonsense. There's a lot of Muslims actually address these points of the Trinity, and then the Christians reply with these kind of verses that he is the Alpha, and he is the.
So they never really have a conversation, do they? They just hiss and spit a load of quotes from books at each other.
Who? Oh, these guys.
Muslims and Christians.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, they're trying to just debunk the Christian narrative, and Christians are trying to defend the Christian Trinity, and so it's usually
Yeah.
around the Trinity. So yeah, it just becomes a whole bunch of quotes, quote this, quote that, quote this, quote that.
That's what I mean. Like they just hiss and spit things
Yeah,
out of books of narrations and mistranslations and whatnot. They don't actually have a conversation. There's nothing peaceful about either side, is there?
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I'll be perfectly honest with you. This is why I'm like bored to death of Speaker's Corner. It's just on a loop. It's repetitive, and it's just now it's just almost purely Christians and Muslims just going at each other.
No says the same thing. Like they just do the. They have the same, and you know, I've watched it on YouTube as well. They have the same conversations every week.
Pretty much. It's a loop. It's just a never-ending loop of crap that they just go round and round and round and round. Oh, what's this? Gossie is actually a prolific texter by the looks of things. I mean, she's got fingers of
She's a Bible bot.
fire.
I gave her the name Bible bot, and then Demands copied it. She's a Bible bot. You don't get a decent
Bible
conversation
bot.
with a Gossie. Just honestly,
Yeah, she says.
she turns everyone away from Christianity because she just bots.
Yeah, Trinity is
Bible
used by.
She'll destroy your live chat. She does that in all
I
these
mean,
channels.
she's all right. There's no one. There isn't that many people anyway. But it says the Trinity is used by Catholicism. Catholicism work ritual. The Godhead is in the Bible. Jesus, grace, no works. He fulfilled the works and miracles, and he told. And the Old Testament covenant. We are in New Covenant, God's grace. That doesn't really make sense here. Half-Earth Trinity to me is like Shia doctrine. They are confused by options. They are confusing my options. Yeah, I mean, look, dude, Diwala, you're a Muslim. I'll be perfectly honest with you, mate. I already think you already started from the wrong position.
Yeah, he's even thicker.
You already started from a hole that you're trying to dig yourself out of. Muslims don't interact with Christians anymore in the park. Yeah, they try not to. Roman. They
It's about bloody time. There's no right being in this country in the first place.
It has come to a head. Islam has been defeated in the park. Well, Islam has been, I wouldn't say defeated. Islam's influence at the park has been vastly diminished in the last 4 or 5 years. 100%. 4 or 5 years. I mean, since actually, you could say 6-7 years. It all kicked off around 2018, and it has been a downward trajectory since, as the Christians grew in their numbers and their polemics. And so, yes, Islam has been on the back foot for a long time now. Now, especially at the park. That's why Muslims have actually ventured off the park. They're now in places like Leicester Square and Stratford and other, like Canary Wharf. I think they were like set up shop at Canary Wharf one time. I saw some video. So they are moving out of the park because they know that's where the Christians are going to come. They're not going to get the juicy, innocent meat that's available to them that used to be available to them. You know, the non knowledgeable Christians who are not knowledgeable about Christianity or Islam. They were just like social Christians and things like that. So yeah, now they're getting their asses handed to them regularly, and they've had some humiliation, especially with people like God Logic, who's laid some major smackdowns on them. So yeah, they can't. They still go there, but yeah, they're trying to avoid any Christian that's knowledgeable, any Christian that comes from the Bob camp, if you will.
I don't think anyone's challenged them as well as Nose has challenged them. You've got to admit it. God Logic hasn't said anything that anyone else hasn't said, but Nose has challenged them in a way that they're stumped.
Yeah, but the problem is Nose's sort of methodology is a little bit alien to most other people. The Socratic method is a bit confusing to a lot of other people. It has a massive annoying factor to it. and this is
Oh,
why
yeah.
Oliver said, he's the philosophy major. He said that's why everybody hated Socrates. They thought of him as an asshole
Yeah.
because his methodology just pisses people off. And so the problem with Nose's thing is that although, yes, I think you're right that he does stump them more, maybe even at God logic, but the problem is he can't get that smackdown moment the way God logic has done. That elbow from the top rope
The
moment.
thing is, it doesn't need to be dramatic. He's got to them. He's under their skin. God logic and all of that aren't under their skin. So with Nose, they haven't a leg to stand on. He doesn't need anything melodramatic. Just needs them to shut the F up and get out.
Yeah, but the problem is,
And that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
Because other people are starting to ask the same sort of questions, and it's reminding them, and then they're thinking, hang on, we're not going to get away from here. So they're bowing out.
Yeah. I mean, as I said,
Perfect.
They are.
So
leaving...
Nose is the one to thank for them backing away from Speaker's Corner in places.
Nice. Nixie in the chat, my favorite Palestinian Hamas supporter. Hello, Nixie. By the way, anyone, actually, Christ, I don't know if I want to put my link out. I'm actually looking at, oh my God, I got to wrap this up. It's 12:36. I was supposed to finish at 12. Went way
I could
over.
kill you. I was getting tired, and now I'm all wound up.
Yes. You see, this is called rage baiting. It's rage baiting.
I know it is.
It actually gets testosterone flowing through your veins, and then you can't sleep because of testosterone high. So
it's fine. I'll find a way to get sleep. No, it's good for me though. It's good for me. But you challenge me.
Well, it's a conversation, but yeah, Nixie loves Hamas. She's well into Hamas. She wants to have babies with Hamas. She's just all over about the Hamas.
So Nixie's a Shemaima Begum wannabe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's a Hamas wannabe. She's not all about the ISIS. She's just all about the Hamas and the Palestinians. Loves those Hamas
hang on
gonads.
a second. Hamas are anti-Palestinians.
Hamas? Well,
yeah. Hamas are destroying the Palestinians as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, technically, if you look at it in a rational way, but unfortunately, Nixie and many people who scream from the river to the sea don't deal in the world of the rational and logical.
Wow. So they're doing them. Oh, right. So she's emotionally challenged, shall we say?
Yeah.
Emotional mind, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on. Unfortunately, yeah, they're sort of trapped in their liberal bubble. And they think that screaming about Palestine and river to the sea is somehow going to do anything for them. Whilst
wait till they find out they're with the Nazis. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Whilst in reality, you're right. Hamas are the biggest enemies to the Palestinian people. Hamas are responsible for 50,000 deaths of women and children in Gaza right now.
Yeah. They wouldn't let them leave Gaza to head south when Israel, the only country in the world to have ever done it, gave the people of Gaza 2 weeks' notice before they were going to drop bombs
and secure corridors.
But Hamas wouldn't let them leave. Yeah.
They do it all the time.
They had it all ready to get out, but Hamas wouldn't let them leave.
We're losing Ghazi. Bye, Hafiz. Bye, all. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. Amen. You forgot to say amen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Be a way to babble to the ceiling.
Unfortunately, it seems Nixie. Yeah, Nixie's. She's swallowed that liberal lefty pill hard. And she sits at home. Gossie wrote amen.
Yeah, I'm definitely going now. Definitely. Amen. All right, bye.
Amen.
I'm going now.
My good
okay.
dear. Yeah, Gossie seems, she's definitely into her Christianity. She loves that Jesus. Loves the old Jesus Jesus.
Very culty, very, very culty.
All
I
right.
came across people like that through some of the Christian churches that I've been to in London since I became born again. And some of the stuff, like utterly vile, that they've come out with in Telegram groups and stuff like that. It's like, no way are you in touch with the same God that I'm in touch with? Like, proper fearmongers, culty types.
What?
If you don't agree with them, then you're angry, you're this, you're that. You know, they just demonize you and browbeat you into believing what they believe.
Yeah. You see, this is the same. Like, look at the Wale. He's like, true Islam has no insecurities. Like, which true Islam? Who's true Islam? This is the problem with Muslims. The same, almost the same as Christians. You ask 1,000 Muslims what is true Islam, you'll get 1,000 different answers because every one of them thinks they've got the right one. You know.
Well, here's the thing: there is no, as far as I'm aware, there is no such thing as true Islam because Islam is not truthful. Islam, right? It's a death cult. And for you to be a member, you have to say the Shahada. And when you say the Shahada, you're saying a lie.
Well.
And even if you're born into it, your minimum 5 prayers a day contain the Shahada. So 5 times a day, you're lying to yourself at the very least. So you're living a lie entirely, basically, when you're in Islam.
Good night, Mr. Dewale. Dewale says, "Bye, Hafiz. Jesus will be back and will delete Dajjal, the father of the Dajjal, the Antichrist, the father of the unbelievers, said by Allahu Akbar. Your Allahu Akbar." Actually, I love the way, Lieutenant, you say Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. You missed me, Ayatollah.
Yes. It's when you brought up that when you read that letter of Yazgard III and you're Allahu Akbar. It's fantastic. I love it.
Go back to your desert with your Allahu Akbar.
Yes, and Ghazi is still in the chat, even though she was supposed to have left about 10 minutes ago.
Definitely going.
I don't go to religious churches. Jesus is in me. Oh, I wonder how Jesus is in you. Anywhere. Hafiz, come to Jesus by for real. I'm definitely going now. 100%.
I think Jesus might be a demon because that Jesus has sent some vile emails to people.
Well, Jesus is in her. Now, we don't want to
let's
speculate how.
Straighten this up for anyone listening. Jesus is not Yahusha. Okay? 2 separate entities. Just so we know.
Oh. Yahusha, as in, wait a minute.
Yeah, she probably does have this Jesus in her. There's a demon called Jesus.
Oh, you mean Yahusha as in Yeshua, right? The same Hebrew sort of name. Some people, I guess, have
Yahweh, who they mispronounce as Yahweh. And
Yahusha.
Yahweh, his son, who came in his name, salvation came in his name, was Yahusha.
Yahusha, not I see. There's a
not
different...
Yeshua, Joshua. No,
I see. Those are the different pronunciations.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's, according to some research that was done by what they call the God Culture or something like that.
Yeah, because
channel on YouTube, they've really gone into the ancient languages.
Yeah, that makes sense because I saw a documentary where they were talking about the gospel of according to oh my god, it was just on the tip of my tongue right now. Judas. They said gospel according to Judas because there is a gospel. I don't know if there was or if they actually have it, but there is a gospel according to Judas. But Judas's name is Yahuda in the Bible. It's not in the original, like Aramaic, Hebrew, whatever. It's Yahuda.
Because his name was Yahu or Yahuwah or Yah, as in Psalm 68:4, right? That's the Creator's name. So Yahuda would be God's child, God's children or God's people is Yahudim. You know how you've got Mohammedan, right?
Yes,
The
Yahud, of course,
Mohammedans
yeah, the
are those who
Muslims.
follow in the footsteps of Muhammad.
Mm.
Yahudim are those who follow in the footsteps of Yahu,
Hmm.
as
Yeah,
in God.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's why when you said Yahusha is actually Jesus, the proper like pronunciation, it makes more sense because Judas was Yahuda. That was
Yeah.
how they pronounced his name. So yeah, a lot of these. First of all, none of the J's exist anyway. The J's are
Exactly.
is
Yes.
all anyway, and there was no J in Hebrew. But it
Well, a
sounds.
lot of the names were replaced in the Russian steppes in Poland by the people who at the time called themselves Yids. They developed a tongue called Yiddish and they messed with all the books. They were the descendants of the Pharisees and Sadducees and all that lot.
Yeah, that makes that makes a lot more sense actually. Because but the thing is, I just want to know the names Mark, Luke, Peter, Paul. These are the same pronunciations, right? They don't have different pronunciations.
Oh, I think they would have different, they're more like English, right?
Yeah.
What their original names are, I don't know.
Because I think David is pronounced Dawood. At least in Iranian and Arabic, they would pronounce it Dawood. It's not. There is no David.
And even Arabic, even though it's a Semitic tongue, does differ greatly from ancient Hebrew and ancient Aramaic. And I say the word ancient just to remind us that ancient Hebrew is very different
To
to
modern.
contemporary Hebrew.
Because also in Iranian, like for the name or for the word Adam, we say Adam. Adam is actually literally in Persian anyway, in Farsi, it means human beings. Insan and
Mankind,
Adam
yes.
are human. That's the word we use.
That's right. So when he made Adam, that means he made man,
Man, yeah,
as in the
human.
species.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then we don't have. Zan. We call women Zan. We don't really have a. I don't know if that's a biblical connotation to that. There isn't really, as far as I know. But yeah. So yeah, it's remarkable actually how the languages are morphed. I mean, God knows what Jesus really said, since all these translations of translations. It would be interesting if we ever had a time machine. That would be awesome. We'd be able to actually.
Oh, yeah. The amount of times that I've thought that one, Banksy. Because, what chance have we got today unless we actually get to look at what I do think is locked away, stashed away from us, like in, I don't know, vaults in the Vatican or somewhere like that. The
I always
originals.
say God knows what's actually buried in those vaults, what knowledge of the world that we've been sort of excluded from. Diwali, that might be Arabic, that Adam means black, but in Persian, in Farsi, in Iranian, it means human. We have a different word for black, siyah, we say for black, so black isn't Adam. I thought, I don't know, maybe that's Arabic. I don't know what the word for black is in Arabic. I guess it's black is Adam, but for us, it's just human. We don't use it that way. Anyway, my dear Mrs. Lieutenant, thank you so much for being so awesome, as always. Vibrant.
Thank you for fighting me and pissing me off.
Depriving you of sleep.
We will do this again.
We'll talk about something entirely different. We'll talk about knitting or embroidery or something completely separate.
It's absolutely fine. I love you anyway.
I love you too, my dear.
And don't be a stranger at my channel. By the way, what did you think of the music?
Oh, awesome! Oh, I love it. I hear the lyrics of the words of Big Nose in there, charlatans and and things like that. I hear those. I hear the words.
That's just the odd song. But I'm on about my stuff like that I've made for me since then, because everything that I play, I made. By the way.
Yeah. Yes.
I claim it. It is mine. All the lyrics are mine.
But yeah, no, I just heard
There's only a few songs that are inspired, a couple that are inspired by him. Then there's the
yeah.
one smooth moderator about me, but the rest aren't. Like I wrote stuff years ago, but it's very apt to what I was doing with Nose and supporting him and what his endeavor is.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was. As I say, I could hear the sort of, what's it called? The words. I saw the odd word here and there, so I could hear the inspiration. You know what I mean? The amalgamation of different things that you're using. But
Yeah.
no, it's awesome. It's really good stuff. I didn't listen to everything that day. I just listened to a little bit. I think it was today, wasn't it? Was it lunchtime today?
Yeah, I think you popped in for possibly 10, 20 minutes or something,
Yeah.
just as I was doing the dishes and stuff, and then all of a sudden I had massive signal problems. But you see, where I live, like, it's Westminster, so if there's a priority over the bandwidth for, the types that live around and work around here, then they're going to get the priority.
Yeah,
I'm a
it's true.
nomad,
It's
so
true.
my signal just drops.
Damn.
You
Yeah,
know.
try it's called fiber. Oh man, what was
Fiber optic, yeah. I'm tied in with what I've got at the moment.
Yeah.
But once I come out of that, then I'll be going fiber optic for sure.
Yeah, there's a company called Fiber something, and it's only internal London at the moment. I'm waiting for them to come out of London and sort of spread out a bit more because I'm not exactly
They
London.
sent something through the door a couple of years ago, and a couple of years ago I wasn't into buying any kind of internet. I know who you mean. I'll look them up again because they have set up round here.
Yeah, I forgot the fiber optic broadband.
It was like,
hyper optic. That's it. They're called hyper optic.
That's them. And it
I'm-
was like a light purple colour logo, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to essentially branch out a bit more because they're not available where I am. But they're offering like 1 gigabit connections for very reasonable prices. And so yeah, you should find yourself in a less of a issue with bandwidth and stuff when you're at 1 gigabit. Even if other people are hogging, some of your bandwidth, you'll still be down to like maybe 500 gig. You know what I mean? They can't allow you. They're not going to allow you to drop like below half the speed that they are supposedly promising you. So even with contention, you still have at least 400 or 500 gig upload downloads. Well, maybe download, but not necessarily upload. These are mostly asynchronous. But either way, you'll have plenty of bandwidth that way. Whilst if you're only at like a couple of 100 gig, and then you have contention, you could be down to like 50 gig. A couple of 100 meg, you could be down to like 40, 50 meg connection because of all the contention around you, or sometimes even worse. So that's what I'm saying, that if you have this very high level, then even if you get 50% of the connection speed, you're still going to be massively high because it's so high to begin with. So anyway, have a look into those because I know they're around Westminster. They're definitely available there. That's like central
they
London.
are. Yeah, they set up around here exactly where I live as well. All the
that's-
stuff came
yeah,
through the door a few years ago now. So I will. I mean, when mine goes, I've always got the mobile that I can use as a hotspot, but I've got to be quick. And today, like I say, I was doing dishes and stuff like that, and I'd only just popped back into the living room. I don't know what it was. And I quickly moved the mouse and looked on. I thought, oh no, I've missed Banksy. Believe it, I'm still drying my hands.
Nah, it's fine. I'll definitely catch you next time because now I'm subscribed, so I can see it. That was just a pure accident because I saw your name, your comment. I clicked on your name, and then it took me to your channel. So it was just a pure happenstance, that one. But I'll catch you next time you're live. What was I going to say? I've also looked into Starlink as well. It's a little bit expensive right now for what it offers, but I've been looking into that because that one, you can literally just take it anywhere with you, as in, wherever you live. Even if you move house, you don't have to worry about your broadband because it just comes with you. You don't ever need to disconnect it or you know what I mean. It's not something plugged into the wall, unless you screw your dish into the ceiling or something on the roof. But generally, as long as your dish, you can unscrew your dish. If you move house, it just goes with you.
Yeah, I'm a long way off being able to afford that, but it is something that I would love to have.
Yeah, it's a bit expensive, as I say.
I
That's
wouldn't have
why.
these problems.
Yeah, I looked into it and I was like, yeah, for what you can, compared to the competition, it's too expensive. Unless you're one of those people who lives in a van or a truck or something, and those people who are off the grid, it's great for those guys because they just stick it out in the wilderness and they've got broadband, hopefully decent. I don't know, because my experience of satellite broadband has always been that when the weather gets crap, the first thing that goes is your broadband. And Britain, as you know, we don't exactly have reliable weather.
And it looks like it's about to get worse because Bill Gates is going to start blocking the sun out.
You've seen those.
In case our bodies produce enough hormone D for us to be fully functional.
Oh, God knows, man. I have no idea what they're going to do to us in the next few
Starmer's
years.
all up for this shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the problem as well. You see, we don't even have like a political body that will resist these oligarchs and these multi-billionaires and their mad Frankenstein science experiments. So they're just going to go right along with it. I mean, Sadiq Khan is basically destroying London. You can't get anywhere with a car anymore.
Oh,
it's become like a nightmare to try and drive a car. And the thing is, I'm like, fair enough. You don't want me to drive a car? I'll catch your damn trains. The trains are cancelled. It's like,
the thing is,
the
biggest polluter in London has always been and will always be the tube. You know why? Because it's electric.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they consider electric to be clean in comparison to they've got they've got their stick in their ass about diesel and petrol. So anything diesel and petrol, they want to just eradicate essentially. But
because they don't want enough carbon dioxide in the atmosphere for us to survive.
Why don't they dim the sun in hot countries? Yeah, exactly. It's not like England needs the sun to be dimmed. Most of Europe could actually do with more sun.
If they do that in hot countries, in sunnier climates, then it means the people who are native to those lands, who have a lot of melanin in their skin, will also all of a sudden become hormone D deficient, and therefore they'll know why they should be living in that part of the world and not this far north of the equator. Well, they can't have that messed. They can't have that narrative messed with, and the truth come out about that.
But also, I just think that they're gonna start messing up the entire global ecosystem, because some places do need to be hot when they're hot. They're not supposed to always be cold, and it's this butterfly effect. So you mess with one part of the world's weather, then it's gonna snowball into other parts. It's gonna domino. We're actually a very delicate balance, our ecosystem, believe it or not. Like the North Stream, the currents, all of these things. You can't just fudge around with these things. You mess around with these things, it's at your own peril. Dubai, look at Dubai. You know why they had those massive floodings? It was because they were seeding the cloud. They were cloud seeding to try to get more rain during the dry seasons, and they flooded the whole damn place. And
because the land isn't to be absorbing that much water. It's all perfectly balanced.
It was just insane. It's like you can't mess around. And oh, by the way, this happened also in Australia as well. There was reports they did the same sort of things. They miscalculated the seeding, cloud seeding, ended up flooding the particular part that they were trying to get rain to. So yet you can't. We are not. Our technology is not that good right now to be able to mess with the weather system. And these guys, the funny thing is, I think they're feeding us this climate bollocks so that when they screw up the weather with their ill thought out plans, they'll just say, oh, it's just climate change. These are the effects of climate. Just like, no, you assholes, you're the one doing this.
Yeah.
But they're just going to blame climate change for it. And that way they'll just wash their hands off it. And people's lives will be destroyed because these assholes don't know what they're doing when it comes to messing with the weather. And as I said, I think they're gonna do something that is going to create a massive global weather event. And then they'll just point the finger to climate change because they've I
think that's what they're trying to do, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to succeed. Look at everything that they've tried to do over the past at least 5 years. They've tried so much so that it's been blatantly obvious, and then their efforts have been thwarted. So I think, they've kind of been allowed to set themselves up for a fall for the benefit of waking up the numbnuts.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, this whole thing stinks. But
I don't know if I'm deluded. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate your perspective, because you've got to look at all of how badly it can go down the road, right? You've got to look down that road before you walk it. But I have an optimism.
I hope so. I hope God comes and helps us.
The God that you don't believe in.
No, that's why I know it's all on our own head.
You believe in it.
We're gonna live and die by our own hands, and we
believe in it,
no
see?
Superman, no Jesus, no Yahweh. None of these guys are gonna come and help us.
Gossie's going to be sending me nasty emails because I've saved you.
I
can see you
Jesus,
drinking
hell.
on your live stream. My God.
Who?
Is that right, Peter?
Sorry, I missed that. What was that?
I can see you drinking on your live stream.
Oh. This is actually now a mixture of 7-Up and Pepsi. Because I had a little bit of Pepsi left in there, and then I just poured 7-Up over it. So it looks alcoholic, but it's actually completely normal. It's just soda, technically.
Is that a different coloured Union Jack behind those two tiles of wood?
Which one?
In the background there.
Oh, on my backdrop.
No, not behind the tiles of us.
Behind the tiles of us.
The end product that you can see on YouTube.
The border. You're talking about the border? No, that's just a border. That's just a flashing border. It's it's nothing to do with the Union Jack. It's just the way I found it. It's just a pattern. Just happens to have that weird. Yeah, it does actually have a Union Jacky feel to it, but it's nice.
And it's an 80s dystopian.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got. It's just
sci-fi film type thing, hasn't it?
Yeah. I just switch these so people have a slight variant, because I'm on camera, but no one else on my streams ever comes on camera, so it gets a little bit dull. People just looking at icons all day long, just flashing icons, talking, and I can't cam up. And well, the thing is, I'm on two different systems. So there's StreamYard, and then there's my OBS, which I run all of this through. I can't cam up on both of them. I can only cam up on one. So I can either do a camera on OBS or I can do a camera on StreamYard. And since I use OBS for all my transitions and all the different scenes that I've set up, I just cam up on that, and I can't use the camera in OBS. There was a moment in time where it allowed me to use it very, very briefly. But it was a sort of a weird. Actually, let me see. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. Oh my God! Oh my
You
God!
disappeared. What the hell?
But do you see me?
I can see you with your bedroom.
Oh yeah, no. I'm talking about on the OBS.
On
If
YouTube,
you look in StreamYard,
but here in StreamYard, I can't see. Oh, now I can see you.
Yes. Yeah, I've managed to actually get both in. I'm in StreamYard and in my OBS setup in my bedroom. So
we're seeing.
I just have to.
double.
Yeah, I just have to shift the different cameras. Anyway, boring stuff. It's because most people use StreamYard. It's so simple and easy, but it costs a fortune now.
Yeah.
StreamYard is like £30-40 a month.
I think it costs a lot, and at the moment I can't afford to fork out. So I'm using Restream because you've got unlimited live streaming for free. And the beauty of that is, I mean, there's some bits that aren't as good as StreamYard, but the point that I do like is that I can upload any size file for background music. So my music, because I was hoping to be able to just press play and not have to be there. So I can make so far I've got so many songs that it plays out as an hour and 6 minutes, for example, right?
Oh, nice.
So I can put that all onto one track, press play, press loop, and that's it.
And you're gone.
And it just, yeah. So, and then I can just keep adding the odd song to that, so it's less monotonous. But it's about keeping it streaming so that I'm getting the watch hours in.
Yeah.
I can have that on mute for me, so then I'm still working on songs.
That's
creating
interesting.
more songs.
So if it's just live streaming, if you're just live streaming, it will count towards your watch hours then, no matter how many, whatever is playing on the live stream.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In YouTube, I'm wanting it to count as watch hours, which it is doing.
Oh,
And of course, the more people that come and go, like that adds to that as well. But
Yeah.
me just sitting watching myself on YouTube,
It adds to
the
watch
watch
hours.
hours.
That's interesting because I
and
thought
all I'm doing is playing the music on loop.
because I thought it had to be like actual videos that people click on and then they watch through, and it will count however long they watch. But if you're just live streaming and even one person watching, it just adds to the watch hours.
Yeah, so if one person is watching for an entire 24 hours, you've gained 24 hours of watch time, watch
That's
hours.
pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
So if you've got more people coming and going, and I'm attracting more by adding the odd short now and again.
This is the thing. If you're doing well, actually, I don't know. Does Restream allow you to change the orientation as well from landscape to portrait?
You have to do that before you start streaming.
Yeah. But it allows you to do it though. It does give you the
Yeah.
options to do the
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good because
when Noah's first tried Restream, he was using it from his phone and he didn't know any of this. And like I'd put him onto Restream saying, try this. Because he was trying to figure out with StreamYard the price and all of this at the time. And so he first went in there with it on portrait and he didn't know how to navigate around it. It wasn't as simple as StreamYard, and he couldn't change that while he was in the stream. But if you select before you start stream, before you go live, whether you're going to have it in portrait or landscape, then it'll be whatever it'll be in when you go live. You can't change it during your stream.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I know. Well, even with StreamYard, you can't change it once you've started your stream, whatever sort of orientation. But once you set it, it does give you it lets you switch. I just didn't know. I mean, I used to use Restream years ago because of restreaming to actually have multiple, different channels. But now I do that through OBS for free. Because Restream kind of restricts you down to 2. It used to be 3. Then they brought it down to 2 in the free tier. So you could restream to like 2 different platforms. But with OBS, I can restream to however many I want. Right now, I'm actually live. Oh, by the way, big up to the Twitch follower, which is one. I don't know whether it's myself or someone else, but one follower on Twitch.
Nice.
Big up to anyone in Kick. Usually about 2 people come in and then leave because it's boring, and they don't. Kick is a different sort of.
Well, we
animal.
gave them an argument to watch.
We did actually have a little bit of we did have a little back and forth.
We had a Barney. Barney with Banksy.
Oh my god. So hopefully, hopefully we had. Yeah, hopefully we had more than like 2 people watch. I don't know. I've got to check actually. Yeah, no, we had maybe 5 people. There's someone who said hi. I completely missed their chat as well because I wasn't watching Kick. Because I just don't pay attention to Kick and Twitch because I hardly have anyone there that follows me. So we did have someone though, Brand, who said hi, but then I didn't reply. So they just like, screw this guy. He's not talking to us. So they just obviously left. Never mind, Brand. We'll talk to you another time, my good sir. But yeah, so
which OBS do you use?
Sorry?
Which OBS do you use?
It's called OBS Project. It's the standard one. It's the first
Is that free
one.
to use?
Sorry?
Is that free to use?
Oh yeah, 100% free. It's just you got to, you got to set it up. The setup portion, 100% free. It's just you. Sorry, I'm going back to Kick, so it's replaying things. I am not checking Twitch at the moment. I don't even know what the hell's going on Twitch. But yeah, it's free. You just need to get a grip on how to set it up. Do you have a PC or like a desktop or something that you can
Yeah,
use?
laptops.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, you'll be able to actually, yeah. There's Twitch as well, and we have one viewer, a whole one viewer on Twitch. Big
What
up
are you
the
talking
Twitch
about? I've
viewer.
got 21 subscribers in YouTube. I'm going to be famous.
Yeah, I'm not because I haven't streamed in a long time, and I usually do it from the streets. I don't even have that many on. I mean, right now I think most of the people are passed out. I've got 18 people, 13 people. Sorry, it was 18 and went down immediately to 13. but yeah, so if you want to set it up, I can help you. I can walk you through it. It's
I'm not sure whether I should or not. What I do actually need your advice on at some point is setting up a microphone, because I've got the mic
mhm.
and all of that, and I got it all rigged up. And I was asking, like, I was talking with Nose through StreamYard to test it, and he was saying it had this hissing noise. Now, when I've listened to Demands, that used to really boil my piss about his mic. Whenever he would speak, you would hear that hiss. But when he didn't speak, it would go nice and quiet. So I wonder, I think the same thing was happening with mine. So is that a power thing, like a power surge or something?
Possibly. I mean, I've got right now. There is a faint hissing sound because see, when I stop talking, my mic should just cut to zero, but it doesn't cut to zero. There's a fluctuation. There's a little jump on the little bar that I see for the microphone thing, and so I know there's background hiss or background noise somewhere in there that it just doesn't allow it to just go to zero. It's a getting your sound right. I'll be honest. I've been trying for 5 years and I still don't really get it right. It still fails on me from time to time. I don't know if you can hear a hiss right now.
Well, it's hard to tell. I don't think I can, but the fan on my laptop's going because I'm using this one to do me live stream as well.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So,
yeah. So you've got other, but I mean, if it's not obvious enough, then clearly it's okay because I can
it's not
show
as
you when it
obvious as
becomes
what
really
it would
obvious.
be if I was listening to Demands.
Yeah, let me show you when it's really obvious.
Oh yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah, you see that's like a real obvious hiss. Now I fixed that because I know where on my little device. It's like a one of those XLR and a mixer sort of devices. So I figured out on my mixer where this problem is happening on that side, but there is something else because my microphone doesn't go to zero. There is a definite noise somewhere. Actually, hold on. When Adam and this is Adam and Eve thing. It's nothing to do with what we were talking about. Yeah, so if you want assistance, I don't know what sort of, is it a USB mic? Is it a straight up USB mic that you got?
I'll have to, let me have a look.
So you're not using a mixer or anything else in between?
No, not a mixer. I'm using an Audio Technica. It's an AT 2020 cardioid condenser microphone.
Okay.
And I've put that through a Phantom Power 48V, which then
okay. So it actually goes through, but I don't think it needs Phantom Cordios, or is it Dynamics that don't need? Yeah, I think it might be dynamic mics that don't need Phantom Power, but Cordios do. But the thing is, what is the device that you're putting it through for the Phantom Power?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Oh, you said Phantom Power, but you're putting it through something for Phantom Power, right?
So I put the microphone into this Phantom Power thing, and then there's an out of the Phantom Power that goes into the laptop. That feeds the sound into there. So it breaks any power surge, I think.
No. Phantom Power is nothing with power surges.
What's it to do? Is it not about converting the sound or something so that it will be?
Yeah, no. What it needs is you need some microphones. Now I'm trying to find out exactly. Yeah, condenser microphone. So yours is a condenser mic, right? It's not a dynamic.
Correct.
It's okay. Condenser microphones need extra power to work. So they don't have their own. They don't. Whilst dynamic microphones can actually power themselves, they don't need power, an external power source. So what this phantom power is literally electricity for the microphone, and your microphone should go through a mixer because it's a condenser, and the mixer will give it its phantom power that it needs. But since you're not going directly through a mixer, but that mixer, how does that mixer or that phantom power unit do you use XLR cables? I take it you must be using XLR cables, right? Those round ones with 3 pins and all that.
Yeah.
But then
Yes.
that comes out of the microphone. Actually, I can show you. If you see my camera, if you see StreamYard, you see that's XLR, right? So you got that.
Yeah.
That then goes into some sort of a unit. In my case, let me see if I can bring it out here. I don't know if I can actually bring it in front of the camera. See, mine goes into this unit, which mine can fit four different microphones at the same time. This unit is essentially what will phantom power my microphone. If my microphone was a condenser, my microphone is actually a dynamic microphone anyway, so it doesn't need phantom power. But yours would have normally gone through something like this, which would then give you the adjustments you need. You see, these are all the gains I've got, and admittedly, I've got this. It's a little soundboard.
So that's where those little sound effects
Yeah, these are the little soundboards. It's got a bunch of other.
You tried them out on Almaty that night.
Yeah.
He was not amused.
He was probably not. Sorry, bear with me. I am. Something happened. Something happened. Hold on, I can hear myself. Why am I hearing myself? What did I do? I moved something. I touched something.
Is that something that you should have cleaned up a long time ago?
No, Okay, do you hear more hissing right now?
No.
Okay. I don't know, I touched something and now the sound in my ear is slightly different to what it used to be. So I don't know exactly what's going on. Okay, I shall restart it later and we'll see. Oh my god, I can hear myself a lot now. Why is that a thing? Bear with me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, something happened. Something changed. Damn it. You see, you move things and then things go wrong. Should not have touched the fucking thing. Touched the goddamn thing. It's all screwed up. Anyway, I'm going to end it now, so I'll switch it off and on again and see what happens next time. But either way, that's what I use. And now I'm not going to lie to you. That little box that you just saw, that tiny little thing, that's like £300.
Yeah.
That is not cheap. There are cheaper ones. There are ones for like £100 as well, but they only take like 1, maybe 2 microphones. So you don't have to get one with 4. I went a bit insane with that. Yeah. Because I wanted to have, because that's very portable and it's designed to, you can actually run it with just batteries. So you don't have to have a power source, electric power source. So you could literally go to outdoor places and still have like 4 microphones to do podcasts and stuff out in a park if you wanted to. So that was the reason I got that, because of future plans that we had, which never actually manifested. Me and Manny had lofty ideas once. Anyway, long story short, you do need something for your for your microphone to go into, and then that thing then plugs a USB into your computer in order for you to get everything. Now, the hissing that you're getting is in that thing, whatever that thing you're plugging the microphone into.
Right.
You have to experiment with that thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it looks like, but whatever that is, you have to look into that. Now, if you can get the name and make and model of that phantom thing that you're plugging it into, maybe I can Google it online and see if there's anything I can come up with. But other than that, it's usually the hissing comes out of that. Now, I don't know whether, I think Good night. Oh, Lieutenant, bless. Oh, Roman. Good night, Roman.
Thing went off, so I said goodnight to him while you were finding all kinds of things that you should have thrown in the bin a long time ago.
Yes, yes. So yeah, if you want, as I say, if you want to set up, like, we can set up like a private StreamYard or whatever, some private session, Zoom.
And do some sound testing and stuff.
Exactly.
That would be great sometime. Yeah, I think I need to look into that more before doing that, though. Otherwise, we're just going to sit there for hours not knowing what the hell's what.
Yeah, yeah. Now, this microphone that I'm talking out of right now, that looks kind of like, expensive or whatever.
Yeah.
This was £40.
That's all right.
This was not an expensive microphone at all. I actually bought it on a gag to see if I thought if it's crap, it's 40 quid. I didn't break the bank. Because these types of microphones, or the way they look, they're Shure ones, they're like £300. They're the ones that Joe Rogan uses and all these big podcasters now use. I just bought this just as a gag to see if it's any good, and it turned out to be really good. I like it. I like the quality. I like the it's got the body to the sound and all that. Although right now it's sounding a little bit shite. I don't know what the hell I did.
Yeah, since we went down there, it sounds a bit rough.
It's off. It's off, isn't it? It's not right.
Yeah. It's not that smooth sound that you usually have.
Hello. Yeah, no, this is definitely off. This is. Hello. Okay. No.
That's not right.
Kids.
I released another song tonight, by the way. I haven't extended it. Yeah. Off a poem. I got a standing ovation for that poem about 9 years ago at an arts charity that I was going to.
Oh.
And I turned it into a song using pseudonyms.
Nice. You see,
I'm yet to extend it. Like a lot of most of the songs that I've been broadcasting, I've extended and I've played around with, because very rarely does something come out as soon or perfect that you don't need to do anything with.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think it hasn't improved, has it? I don't know.
That sounds a bit better.
I've lowered the headset on this one. Anyway, I'm just about to wrap up. Anyways, oh my gosh, Hoppers one. The weird thing, the one thing I do like about this AI thing is the fact that it's going to launch new artists like yourself. You know what I mean? People who would never normally be into creating music because you need to play an instrument or you need this and that. Now you can.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh.
No, so now you practically have an entire studio that you can, create a whole new genre of music.
Yeah, the thing is, it seems so off limits to me what I'm doing now and what I want to go on to do, because what I'm creating, right, I'm using AI to create it, but I want to learn to make those sounds myself. All of that world seems so off limits to me, and it's something I've always wanted to have a go at, right? And I've always been around musical and artistic people. And back in the 90s, all my friends, like a lot of the lads, they were into making music. They had all the devices as well as instruments, proper instruments. So I've always been inspired by that. But, shit hits the fan and whatnot. You live your life. And all of that seems so off limits. But now using this and creating this, I've got family members saying, right, I can get you this, that, and the other. It's their equipment, but you're okay to use it for however long you need. Play around with it. Then you know what kind of equipment to try and get for yourself, like to try and buy for myself. So it's opened that door that I thought was off limits to me. And it's inspired me. Like, I'm really motivated. I really want to know how to make these sounds. I'm like competing with the AI. I want to make it better than the AI does. So I wouldn't say I would ever completely get rid of the AI, because it's useful for inspiring me. And sometimes it comes out with some beautiful sounds that I'm not sure I would be able to replicate or make myself or do better than, so I would like to keep it and use it. And more artists, more established artists, are saying that it does have its uses.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there's some people who are worried about their jobs, like Hollywood screenwriters. But then there are others who are going to come out of this. There's always winners and losers. There's pros and cons. There's going to be people who are already established as writers and music makers who are going to feel a little dent in their work because of AI. But then there's going to be a whole new era of people who would normally never make any of this stuff, who are going to come through as musicians and artists and screenwriters and all sorts of things, because they just have this AI to be able to give them that little extra help.
Yeah.
Anyway, my love, thank you so much. I'm gonna end this one, although I actually should have created this or gone, put myself on camera sooner if I knew. Either way,
it's been nice catching up.
It has been awesome. You may find me either on Big Noses next, or on yours in the chat in the side, or on if you follow me on Halfers, you'll probably catch me next time on the streets, because I try to mostly do stuff on the streets with this channel. Banksy's the one I do these kind of panel shows and stuff if I do, but
I probably won't see you on Noses. I don't think I'll be going back there.
Oh really? Why, have you guys fallen out?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea.
He's fired me and he's banned me and he's cut all communications from me, and I have no reason, no explanation, no understanding why, nothing. So
oh my, I had no idea. Why? I mean, literally you don't know, because you just said you didn't have any.
Don't know.
That's a bit. He's a peculiar one, this gentleman. But I guess
I don't know.
There wasn't an argument. There wasn't a fight, an event.
No argument. There was a bizarre communication which I didn't understand. But nothing. No, like we've discussed things and we've had, slight spats and stuff like that. And nothing like this has happened before. And I mean, if he wants to demod me or co-host me, whatever, it's his channel, it's his choice, right? I've always said that. It's entirely up to you whether you have me as... I was only there to support him, right? And I said I'd support him as far as I could go. That's not a problem. So if he doesn't want me to do that anymore, that's fine. But then he banned me, and I thought, well, that's a bit weird. Why ban me? And then he cuts all communications, private communications. So I'm like, right. That is cold.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't
like that at all. So I'm done.
And unnecessary, really.
Yeah.
That's
very
interesting.
Cool. Interesting. That's the hateful part for me. So
because you guys, you put in a lot of hours. You worked together. It seemed like you had a good team. I don't know. Did he? I don't know. I don't know what. That's just weird. Anyway, my love.
Thank you for having me, Banksy.
As always a pleasure.
I shall see you on mine.
Or
on X. I follow you on X now.
Oh, you do? Oh, yes. Drop me a message. My DMs are open. Drop me a message so I can follow you. I didn't realize. I mean, is it a different name or is it Lieutenant? I think I might be following you.
Because I've got 2 accounts. Have I got you on that one?
Yeah, I've also got more than one account.
Yes.
We're of a very similar mindset with these social media stuff. I always have more than one account.
Yeah, you've got to have something where you don't have to be someone.
Backup as well. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So have you got that? Yeah, I've put it in the private chat. That's me.
Oh, you did. Excellent. Let me just have a look. Have a look. Where the hell is it? Private. Aha. I may do actually. Hold on. Just before I leave you, let me do a quick follow back. Aha. Yep. We're good. We're linked. We're linked. It's just I always imagined I'll always find you in at Nose's channel, even if I don't see you anywhere else. So I always thought that was like a safe safe space.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not. It's not a safe space.
Not at all.
So in that case, I'll catch you on yours, or if I go live, yeah, by all means, feel free, jump on, have a chat.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, all right. I'll speak to you soon.
Take care. Good night, my love.
God bless.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, dokie. Let's go back to moi. And all right, ladies and gentle people, thank you so much for joining me on this auspicious evening. Why is this? Why is it always something? Always some son of a thing. Oh no, that's because yeah. Okay, I understand that one. Yeah, that was for the chats. That's for the featured chats. I'm zoomed in more because we can say goodnight to everyone. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I don't know if there's anyone left in the back end here. Is anyone still watching? If you are one of the troopers, and you deserve a special kind of wet kiss. The 6 people. So for the 6 of you left, thank you for showing up. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Please go to the pinned GoFundMe account in the chat or in the description bar. Please go and see if you can help, or just leave some well wishes for Jenny. I know this show started off with Jenny as the base and it sort of veered off, but please, if you can, drop a few quid for Jenny. That she will love it. She'll appreciate it. She will always be in her prayers. I promise you that. Thank you, Gozi. I thought you went. God bless you, my dear. God bless everyone. God blesses everyone. Just like little Timmy from good night. God bless. Good night, my love, Miss Lieutenant. Thank you again, Lieutenant. Thank you, Condor and James Kingston. Thank you guys for jumping on. You guys were awesome. Of course, Lieutenant, you're an absolute star. You stayed so long, and we had it was a good conversation though. I gotta give it to you. It was pretty awesome. We had some good back and forth, and you tried to get under my skin. You tried to troll me. I know you did, but unfortunately, as they say, you don't know who you're effing with. I was trolling people into an early grave before you were a twinkle in your daddy's eye. But it was a good one. It was a good one. You gave it a very good shot. But anyway, as far as the guys in the chat, thank you everyone in the chat. D Gozzy, I don't know. You seem like a crazy Jesus thumper, but I love you anyway, just like Jesus would. I'm gonna go down the list, trying to give everyone loves and hugs and blessings to Roman, to Rude Boy, Duwale, DG, Gozzy again, Cheeky Chops, blessings to you, blessings and good wishes and goodwill to all of you. As Chaotic says, positivity is coming your way. Rude Boy again, Nixie, positivity coming your way. I wish you all the best. I wish you happiness in life. D Gozzy again, I'm sure Jesus will love you. Who else? We had a few other CCD, love you, man. Garfy M, Bad as Babs UK, blessings and good wishes and goodwill. The Mossad, I hope everything calms down in your country and you guys have a blessed life. Who else? Did I miss anyone? Cheeky again, Garfy, JOJ, blessings to you, my sir, lady, I can't tell. Mossad again. I mean, there are some people I'm sure I'm going to miss because EAE, I'm sorry I didn't get a proper blessings to you and well wishes and positivities coming your way. I'm going to start a what do you call it, one of those gospel churches that give you that promise you riches, that you become rich. Prosperity gospels. Yes, prosperity gospels. EAE, got blessings, prosperity coming your way. Lieutenant, prosperity definitely coming your way. That's it. I don't know. I think curb your enthusiasm. Love you, man. Prosperity coming your way. This is a prosperity gospel channel now. Fat Loba, prosperity coming your way. What else? The Fat Loba again. God, I have to go all the way to the very tippy top. I'll be perfectly honest. If I missed your name, I'm sorry. Puffle, prosperity and what's it called? Prosperity and the gospel of the magic of Hogwarts coming your way. And I think that's it. All right, guys and girls, please again help Miss Ginny if you can. If not, just keep her in your prayers if you're a God believer and you believe in doing those things. In the meanwhile, we will say good night with a little heavenly song which I created on AI music, and that's how we're going to end this little thing. So love yourselves, hug your loved ones, hug everyone around you, say to the people that you haven't said I love you for a long time that you love them, and make sure that they all know, because you never know that tomorrow could be your last day. If tomorrow never comes, will you still... whatever. I forgot the words. But you know what I mean. Anyway. Peace. Love you all.
In a world that's dark and gray, angels sing and light the way. They whisper secrets in the night, guiding hearts to pure delight. God's love shines like the morning sun, washing over everyone. In the skies where stars collide, heaven's gates are open wide. Fly with me to places high, where dreams touch the endless sky. Feel the grace that hugs the earth, every soul finds its true worth. In the quiet moments still, feel the presence ever real. Heaven's symphony unfolds,